you've all been flying through dark space in the Saratoga for many days now at this point. Last session, we did a lot of role-playing on the ship. During travel, the passage of time is a little bit fluid in role-play situations, so I wasn't really, like, tracking it in a draconian way of being like, oh, this is, hour pass, whatever. So I would say that, like, the events of last session were kind of spread out a little bit over the course of however many days, probably with a few days where nothing really happened in between. And now you are coming very close to the end of your journey. Soon you'll be reaching the terminus system where the mass relay is that launched you to Tsukiyomi in the first place.
And Aryn will make sure that her report to the council is all written up with all the factual details that she can and any evidence that she has ready to go. And I'll tell Adam to send that once we're in range of the galactic communication system.
Understood. Which will be still a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're all, wherever you happen to be, and you are approaching the system where the master relay will be, the lights shut off in the entire Saratoga for about a second and then come back on, and the engine kind of stutters and makes a loud whine.
Whoa.
Engineering report?
Hey, Jojo, you're alive.
That is non-engineer.
Do I have anything to report?
Hello. There we go.
Ray, you saw the engine kind of stutter, almost like it shut off and turned back on again. You can run a diagnostic report. Basically, roll a technology check to figure out what happened.
Okay.
I already know what happened. Nothing good.
The other engineers look a little bit startled and confused.
Sorry, unlike the ship's computer, my computer is terrible.
You're quite all right. So, it doesn't take you very long to figure out.
That's actually an 18, just FYI.
Fair enough. It doesn't take you very long to figure out that it seems like there's nothing wrong at all, and it appears to you as though Adam flickered the engine, very much on purpose. You have no other explanation for what could have happened. But as you're diagnosing this, Adam says, "Oh, dang. We've got some engine trouble. We'll need 3 people to fix this together, cooperatively, or it can never possibly be fixed."
God. What the hell did I wake up to?
Is Adam trying team building exercises? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh boy.
So Ray, you know this is bullshit. What do you do?
I'm going to turn off my verbal processor, my exterior one, and then I'm just going to send a message to Adam saying thank you. And then I'm going to I'm going to turn it back on and ask the other 2 engineers to come over and help me take a look at something.
Oh.
Okay, they're gonna come over and be like, yeah, I guess. What do you need? Even even Mabel doesn't want to die in space, so she's like, all right.
Bitch.
I'm gonna find a piece of the engine that's somewhat complicated, but basically like in a kind of kind of in a way that like I don't understand it. Like this is a human function. I don't exactly understand how this works. Will you guys explain it to me, sort of thing? And I'm just gonna find something that like benign that if we were to mess with it, like it would basically be like turning the car battery on and off again, or the like a phone's battery on and off again. It like wouldn't really do any damage. It would just be like something passive that could be done.
And you're asking
turn on the blinkers.
You're asking them to like explain it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna like
Okay.
say like this is a human system. This isn't something that I've ever worked with. Our systems work differently than this. Can you run me through it? Basically, try to. I see what Adam's trying to do, so I'm gonna try to make them appreciate that I don't know everything and that their input is still necessary.
Well, Wolf says, "Oh, well, this." He looks over at Mabel and is like, "You're the one who usually fixes this, right?" Mabel kind of crosses her arms. It's like, "All right, fine. Look, this is," and she starts to explain it. And it's like, "Do you think this is what's wrong, or?"
And while she's explaining it, Ray's actually gonna pull up her notes like she does when she's taking notes on any other part of the ship and like put them in, like she's trying to learn her best. And then she's gonna like give some good information, but like have like a slight math error, like something very very slight that would be like you could easily see over, and then hopefully have Mabel catch it.
Oh wow.
She doesn't catch it.
Oh no.
God.
Damn it!
She doesn't notice.
Your low slow down the center failed and hit her in the face.
I'm going to run with whatever statistics she gives me, and I'm going to like try to find a moment when she like doesn't like necessarily know the process that I'm going through. Like I'm gonna go about it in a roundabout way that obviously she won't recognize because apparently they only have a +3 fucking tech ability. And I'm going to like change the small qualification so it works better, but like make it so like her explanations is still how I'm going about it.
All right. Yeah.
I didn't tell him to do this, by the way, guys. He totally came up with this by himself.
You
I just think it's sweet that the AI is running team building exercises. It makes my heart happy.
You managed to create a scenario where Mabel can kind of help you save the day in a very manufactured way. I do want Ray, give me a deception check, but I'll give you advantage because they are like out of their depth with what you're doing, so it would be hard for them to figure out that you're tricking them.
Okay.
But it's worth seeing if you just are very unlucky.
Well, we got good news and we got bad news. Bad news is I only have a +1, but the good news is I'm getting at least a 9.
All right.
Yeah.
They don't know shit.
I was going to give you advantage too, but 18 is plenty.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll roll it just in case. Just in case it's a natural 20 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, so they are none the wiser. None the wiser.
Team building exercises. This is great.
And after the situation's fixed, she's going to say, Mabel, will you communicate to the commander that the ship is up and running again?
She looks kind of like taken aback and is like, I guess, sure. She'll go on comm and say, hey, the engine's fine, we fixed it.
And then she's going to turn off her exterior auditory thing again and just like squeal, thank you so much, Adam!
Oh my god.
In the cockpit of the ship, which means that Quincy and David are present for this. Adam speaks only in the cockpit and is talking to Aryn and says, "You owe me."
Oh, that's ominous.
That I do. Thank you, Adam.
Don't make a habit of it.
Oh.
It was not Adam's idea.
Of course it wasn't.
Well, thank you very much, even though my character has no idea. Thank you very much, Aryn.
Yeah, well now Aryn has also improved relations between Ray and Adam as well. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
We're hitting
Everybody's
things
getting
with
along.
stones now?
Ray thinks Adam gives a shit. He super doesn't.
And the rest of us still know the truth.
What did you give? Oh God, you owe him. Oh no, you owe a favor to an AI.
That's not
Oh
good.
God.
That's not good.
I don't know what you did, but
The next
The
time
fa-
he
the
wants
fact
to
that-
throw somebody out the airlock, he's gonna hold this favor over your head.
I mean, the fact
He's
that
gonna be like, "You owe me."
that you apparently owe Adam one means you must have done something that he really is a little bothered by. That's
All right, I am
Impressive.
now privately sending Mark what Adam wants.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh,
no! That's even worse.
a bag of Cheetos.
A bag of
Oh,
Cheetos.
speaking of,
Can of Mountain Dew.
For
during
gaming.
the trip, was I able to do that thing that I messaged you about in private, Zen?
It's like I can't eat them, but I love it when the dust
Pull
gets
it up.
all over my circuitry.
Aaron checks the private message that she's getting from Adam and says, "We'll see what we can do."
He specifically wants that one bag of flaming hot Cheetos that someone suspended in a 3-ton in a 3-ton sarcophagus.
So yes, Ray, you're good to go on that. Sorry, I had to refresh my memory. It's it's been a week, so
Yeah, no worries. She's probably not going to install it until after everyone's off the ship talking to the council and we have a few days aground.
fair enough.
And also so she can refill that so she doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And before we reach our council space, Aryn does want to talk with Juvius and make sure that he's okay. He's been locked in his
Certainly.
quarters for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll actually say that Juvius, you've been locked up for almost 2 weeks. Is it time? Is Juvius finally going to come out?
Okay, sure.
I was just gonna say, nah.
Come out the closet.
Yeah. No, it's safe in here.
Are you sure about that? What if the lights turn off in there?
No, Aryn will ring the little chime on the door.
You hear a thunk and then a groan, and then he opens the door. It's like, oh, hi. He looks very disheveled, like he's been nothing but sleeping for the last 2 weeks.
May I come in?
Yeah, absolutely. What can I do for you, Spectre?
Well, I just wanted to check in on you. It's been quite a trip so far. After going through this once, then the council insists you come back and go through it again. I can only imagine.
Don't think too much on it. I felt like I had to. Like I owed it to my crew, you know?
Well, even though we don't have all the answers yet, do you still feel like you've done all you could for them so far?
I suppose so, but I feel like there's more yet to come. I'm afraid of what the future holds.
There may be more yet to come, indeed, and I just want to make sure that we can still count on you, because it would be very reasonable for you to request some leave for some therapy. Goddess knows that's what you need, but you're quite talented in the field of combat.
Thank you. It means a lot coming from you. And don't worry, you've got my guns. I ain't going nowhere. I can deal with what's happened after we're done with it.
Alright, well, if there's anything that you need from us, please feel free.
Thank you.
And I'd like to speak with Ray in the conference room as well.
All right.
Yep. Captain to Engineering, Ray, could you please come to the conference room?
Sorry, I was changing my rat's water. She's gonna look around at the other two and bite her lip and be like, on my way, Spectre," and she'll head up there.
You can move your token.
Yeah. I used to have such a nice computer, man. This thing's such a pile of junk.
Oh, tragic.
How can I help you, Spectre?
Please have a seat. How's everything in engineering?
Oh, it's going. I'm attempting to rebuild relations with one of the crew members, but I'm sure you know about that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've been meaning to keep an eye on that situation, but wanted to check in with you on it. Is she coming around, do you think?
Oh, I still believe that she may decide to leave the ship, sadly, but I hope she doesn't. She's clever, and she knows some things that her partner does not, and her partner probably wouldn't work as well with a new face, but you have to change the crew if you have to change the crew.
Well, my concern is they won't do any better if they end up anywhere else.
Well, perhaps, sadly, them working with aliens is the main problem. I didn't mean to take control of engineering. I'm sorry, Commander.
That's quite
Or
all right.
Captain.
You're definitely very capable. You're more knowledgeable about engineering than any of them are. I think the problem is that they feel like they don't have a job to do anymore, and they were not as familiar with the systems. So
That was not my intention.
well, I think before you change anything else, make sure that they're consulted on it.
I will definitely do that, Captain. I did not realize that it would become such a problem. I had no idea that they were. I don't know how to say this politely, ma'am, but I had no idea that they did not have the experience that I would expect from Alliance soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they'll get that experience working with us.
I hope so. They're both promising.
Just make sure they have a job to do, in whatever it is you're doing down there.
If the ship is ever in a combat situation, I will definitely need their help. So I hope when push comes to shove, they'll be ready.
Good. All right, that's all.
All right. You have a good day, Spectre. Are we going to be arriving at the Citadel soon?
We should be. We should be rather soon.
All right. Be cautious of the Council. They don't tend to take strange news well if any of the backstory on the Reaper War is true.
Right, I've been dealing with the Council for years now. I know how to handle them.
All right. I will give to your experience then.
And that's all I have for now.
All right.
Actually, I can make a shipwide address as well. If that's alright. I don't mean to hog the spotlight
You should.
on everybody.
No. I want to give you room to do all this before I take over and do DM things.
Okay.
So.
She'll open a channel to the whole crew and just say, "Crew of the Saratoga, this is the captain. We'll be arriving in Citadel space shortly, and over the course of our journey, it's come to my attention that the integration of unfamiliar crew and unforeseen nature of our mission has some of you feeling a little on edge, as though you've been unjustly caught up in a situation that you didn't sign up for, or that your role here has become superfluous as the ship itself and the talent pool of its crew has shifted around you, and is not the environment you've become accustomed to. I believe this crew can adapt to the change at hand. Everyone on board has the opportunity to learn from those around and above them, and if you plan to remain on this crew, I implore you to take advantage of that opportunity and learn everything you can to continue being a functional member of the unit. I cannot promise that future missions will be any less dangerous than our most recent encounter, but anyone who feels they cannot handle the situation is free to request a transfer when we return to Council space. You may end up on a newer ship with higher expectations than you're accustomed to, so I still advise you to learn as much as you can while you're here in order to be a productive crew member wherever you end up. And if you stay, I am patient, but I won't tolerate minimal effort to collect a paycheck, and neither will your next commanding officer, whether on this ship or another. Whether you stay or leave, the details of our mission are still classified, so please keep that in mind. That is all. And with that, I'll head up to... Actually, I'll head up to the bridge until we get into council space. Then it'll probably be back to the conference room for the address with the council.
How much time have we got? Is David still on rotation in the hot seat?
Well, pretty soon you guys will be reaching the mass relay, and from there you'll be making jumps until you get to council space. However, as you are finally entering a system again, you're finally entering a cluster of systems and leaving dark space. Pretty much right away, like right on the edge of this terminus system, Adam says, "Hey, I'm getting an SOS."
Location?
Looks to be an asteroid belt way out on the edge of one of these terminus systems over here. Very far removed. It is in our path. I don't think anyone else is going to be far enough out here to respond to it. We're going to be pretty much passing by it.
Exo to the bridge.
Rolls in through the door.
Sorry if I woke you up. We've got something on our way back to our destination.
Sounded like somebody needs help.
It sounds that way. It would delay our return a bit. What do you think?
A bit as in a couple of days, or a bit as in we've got an extra month? I don't think it'll take that much time.
I don't think
and if we're the only souls that are going to be out here, let's do it then. See if we can get some other folks home. Couldn't do that last time we stopped, so maybe we've got a better shot this time.
As long as they're not hostile. Helm, adjust our course. Take us close to that distress signal to answer it. Adam, signal a response. See if you can get them on comms.
Can't get comms. The SOS is just a ping. It's not coming from a ship. It's coming from some kind of equipment. They are stationed in the asteroid field, it seems. Pretty low tech.
Maybe a research vessel? Maybe somebody crashed?
Shot in the dark, Adam. Does the ping match any other known, like, distress signals that other council races use, or is this just like a general broadband SOS?
Pretty general. Seems to be, I think it's mining equipment.
That's weird.
Mining equipment sending out a distress signal? Well, if there is somebody in distress down there, we'll see what we can do about it.
I mean, I can get you in visual range, and if you don't care about it, we'll keep moving. I mean, it's pretty much on the way. Maybe an hour or two out of the way. We were going to be going through this asteroid field anyway.
An hour or two won't make a difference in the scale of time that we've been dealing with so far. The council won't miss us that much.
Says the Asari.
What can I say? We're patient people.
And sure enough, within a few hours, Adam is able to bring the Saratoga up to a giant asteroid in this asteroid field. And there are little machines roaming around on the surface of this asteroid, mining, boring little tunnels through it, and extracting various ores and storing them inside of themselves. You see one such machine is on its side, just laying immobile, non-functioning with a small blinking light on it. And you also see a humanoid individual standing on the surface of the asteroid next to it with a hand on it, looking kind of like he's just sort of waiting.
Almost feels like the intro to picking up a new player.
He's just fucking sitting here waiting on a space tow. Wasn't expecting a Spectre.
He looks like this. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have AAA.
He looks like a...
Perhaps he's experiencing a real emergency and his only way of signaling help was to tip over a drone and activate its automatic beacon.
Can you get radio down to him at all?
He looks like an old diver.
Adam says, I can't find any kind of comms to connect to. And the guy like looks up at the Saratoga because I mean you guys are in a big spaceship. He can see you, and he like starts waving his arm at you, like he's like waving you down.
David, how close do you need to be for a telepathic message?
120 feet.
At this rate, we either pick him up or use him for target practice.
Well, we're not doing the second part.
Is there any way I can recognize the armor he's wearing? Like what company it was made by or what race or species it was made by?
At this distance you can't, but Adam possibly could zoom in.
Yeah, if Adam can do that, she'll try to take a look at it.
You gotta say it. You gotta say the word. You gotta go Adam enhance.
I knew it.
Like it's a
Zoom
crime
and
serial.
enhance. Why is it so
Zoom and
pixelated?
Zoom in on the target. Enhance.
Enhance. Okay,
Enhance and enlarge. Enhance and enlarge.
All right. So zooming in on it, the equipment looks pretty like run down. It's definitely partly salvaged, but there is a symbol engraved into the breastplate, and it looks like this.
That's a pirate.
If anybody has history,
Well, would you look at that? The nerd has it.
Nope.
Fucking nerd.
I have every knowledge skill, and that's pretty much where her power is.
yeah, anyone trained in history can make the check.
I am not. I lived through it, but I am not proficient in it.
Same.
I was actually gonna say, in my backstory, I dealt with a lot of pirate crews on both sides. Can I get an excuse to roll anyway?
I'll give you an
Ray
attempt.
got it with a 28.
I mean, Ray just knows what it is.
I'm
but yeah.
joking. I'm joking. Go on.
So Ray, you are aware that many decades ago, most of the crime in Council space and into like the Attic and Traverse and Terminal systems, a large majority of crime was controlled by a certain shadow broker who went missing during the Reaper War. And that created a pretty big power vacuum within organized crime that slowly got filled by the individuals this symbol represents, which is the Syndicate. The Syndicate is more or less an alliance of all of the really big criminal players. Everyone who is like just below the Shadow Broker, like everyone in second place, formed the Justice League of Criminals, and this is the Syndicate. You think there's like something like 7 or 8 of them, but they basically control all of the criminal activity nowadays. So if there's something clandestine or untoward happening, it is a very high probability the Syndicate has a piece of the pie. It's like 6 degrees.
Mafia.
6 degrees to Syndicate, right? It's almost always like the guy was hired by a dude who was hired by a different dude who got a contract with someone who was doing that contract on behalf of someone who works for the Syndicate, right? Like it always like leads back to them, even if it's very indirect.
Okay.
Now, the Syndicate is huge, and a lot of people work for them, many of whom are just trying to survive out here. Especially with the mass relays down, it's like you do what you got to do. So it doesn't necessarily mean like this is an evil person. It just
Yeah.
means that they're caught up in this shit.
It's kind of like a shadow broker's agent. Just because they're a shadow broker agent doesn't mean they're evil.
Exactly. Yep.
Ray's gonna open up the comms and go to say that, and then she's gonna like kind of bite her lip and like think of Aryn and think of what she's seen Aryn do in the past, and then she's going to say, "He works for an information broking business. He should be okay to approach."
All right. Since you're gonna hide it, I am gonna give some people some disadvantage history checks to see if anybody knows about this. Especially like the Spectre and Kronk. Like you guys have been traveling all over the place. You might. Kronk knows what this is. All right, Aryn doesn't, but Kronk knows what this is. Yeah.
I was gonna say, could I take a crack at it? Having
Yeah. If you're not
How
trained,
old is
I
he?
am going to give you disadvantage though.
no,
It's just Kronk.
Uh,
So it's up to you if you keep quiet about it or not, Kronk.
Oh yeah, lots of information passes through. Lots of information passes through their group.
He's just gonna be a smartass about it, but he's not. Actually
Everyone's hiding it. Okay.
All right.
As Ray hears Kronk's response, she's gonna like kind of start getting nervous and like feel herself sweating a little bit underneath her mask. Like she thinks he might know, but she isn't sure.
She can feel Kronk staring a hole in her through the comms.
Exactly. But she doesn't want the Spectre to leave him for dead if he actually needs help. So
Well, if we take all due precaution, I think we should be fine. Can we make a quick touchdown drop-off of an away team? Keep the ship at a safe distance? David?
Sure thing, says Adam.
do we
you've
have any
got,
shuttles or anything?
No shuttles, but
We need to requisition some from
We
the
need a
council.
shuttle, yeah.
we can drop you off though. We've got cables. You can rappel down.
Oh,
Sounds good.
sweet.
That'll
Yeah,
work.
the ship's got like 1,000-foot steel cables, so you can like rappel down to the asteroid.
So before all of that happens, but after they leave the bridge, Kronk's gonna turn off his comms and pull Aryn aside.
What do you think?
Well, this dig site belongs to a bunch of criminals.
Well, it is the region that we're in. Everything here is in the hands of criminals of some faction or another.
It's not surprising, honestly. Could care less. If they're not a problem, they're not a problem. If they are, they won't be for long. I'm more concerned with the fact that the kid is lying to you already. Might wanna work on that bridge.
I'll do that.
Little lies now get people killed later.
I think it has something to do with the Quarians that whole situation. Perhaps some benevolence to strangers would go a long way.
Your call, Spectre. And with that, he'll walk off to join the away team.
So you want me to just stay in the cockpit, or? 'Cause I'm fine right here.
We could either send a minimal away team or go down full force just in case it is anything dangerous.
Your legs work better than your uncle's.
That may be the case, but from here I have access to Adam's weapon arsenal should that be needed. Choice is yours, Captain. I'll go either way.
Things do go south, we might need a pickup in a hurry. Either that, or we might need you to circle around and come back for us. You're okay to stay on the ship?
I'm okay if that's what that's what's wanted. really, it's 50-50 for me. I'm pretty confident in Quincy.
All right, we'll give you a call if we feel like you'd be better served on the surface.
Sounds good. Hear that, Quincy? You're stuck with me.
All right, Shepard, you're with me. Mr. Ways, you have the bridge.
All right. So the away team is, just to get up to speed here, it's Aryn, Kronk, Quincy. Who else is coming?
I mean, Ray would want to come because there might be
Fair.
medical issues involved with this. So
Juvius will come if he's asked.
And for Arturo.
Lucille's been pulled, so I'm following the Spectre.
Aryn, do you ask Arturo and Juvius to come with, or do you not?
I'll ask if they would like to, if they'd feel more comfortable on the ship, or if they'd like to come down and join the force.
I'll go wherever you think you need me.
My worry is this might be some kind of ruse, and they might be trying to secure a ship like the last people we encountered.
I can stay here and guard if you'd like.
If that's the case, I should probably stay here and keep an eye on my security team. Make sure that they're ready to go if the case somebody boards while you're away.
Alright, I'll be taking Shepard, Kronk, and Rela down, so if they have any technical or medical issues, we'll have that dealt with, and we'll have a decent-sized force. But if we need further assistance, we'll give you a call.
Of course.
I've broken the rules and chosen 3 squad mates.
All right. Do you guys head to the
So
airlock
which one's
and
dying?
you head to the airlock and strap in to rappel down to the asteroid surface?
Kronk, maybe you should have 2 cables.
It's a steel cable. It'll be fine.
I don't think Kronk weighs that much.
Look, it's fine. If worst
Krogan.
comes to worst, I won't feel anything when I land anyway.
All right.
I mean, it's an asteroid. Its gravity can't be that strong.
So you guys rappel down to the surface, and yeah, there's next to no gravity. You basically get in the airlock. You're cabled to the ship, and you kick off of the ship to get to the asteroid. You know, the cable staying connected the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a tether.
Yeah, more of a tether. Yeah. You arrive at the asteroid's surface, where this man is standing waiting for you. Based on his posture and how he's like staying stuck to the asteroid surface, you would suspect that he has some kind of like magnetic gear that keeps him here, because he's standing as though there were gravity, more or less. And when you arrive, he speaks, and his helmet kind of projects his voice through like the voice box, so it's very kind of electronic sounding. There's like a speaker on the front of the helmet. Hail, I mean you no harm. I just need a little bit of help with repairs.
Certainly, what can we do for you?
He gets out his Omni tool. If you'll allow me to transmit you some blueprints, if you have a fabricator, it would be relatively simple to make. I can compensate you.
immediately as he starts saying that, Ray's going to start building a extremely like as powerful of a firewall as she can create in her Omni tool.
Kronk is actually going to motion to Rela as he's saying this, like, "Well, nerd, you're up."
Yeah, and Aryn will indicate to Rela as somebody that he can transmit it to.
He the lights on one of his boots go out, and he lifts it up off the ground and like steps forward. And once he plants his foot onto the ground again, it lights back up. And then the back foot, the lights go out, etc. He deactivates and reactivates the mag so that he can walk forward.
So I actually have the spell encryption, so I'm going to use that.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
And I will.
Great spell description. Very informative.
I didn't mean to press the button. Sorry.
Yeah, and we've got mag boots as well. That's like standard on the armor.
Let's see here. Spells. Because of course I have to actually know what this does. Encrypt.
It's a first level spell. I'm almost there.
Got it. Becomes locked. You and creatures in it when you cast a spell may open it normally. It keeps something locked. It's basically lock.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would say that Ray is tech savvy enough that it would be challenging for him to take this opportunity to try to do anything untoward. Like, you know, if he sends you the blueprint and the blueprint is like blueprint.exe, you don't run that. Like, you're gonna be able to tell. File. Yeah, you're gonna be able to tell if it's suspicious or not. Yeah.
But she's also gonna cut off her Bluetooth connection or whatever it is to the ship. So if anything does go wrong, it's only her Omni tool that gets affected.
Cut the Bluetooth off. Unpair with the Saratoga. Okay.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
And fully disconnect so the password gets re-engaged. It's 123 password.
So he'll he'll transmit the blueprint to you. You receive it and have the option to accept or deny it. And you can do a technology check to verify the veracity of this file that's being sent to you.
Yeah, sorry about that. The computer is so slow I can't really copy and paste spells and stuff because it would take me like 300 years.
Yeah, you're okay. I've got it open.
It's going to be a minimum 18, but 29 is probably better.
So you are very certain that this is just a blueprint. Everything about it, the file size, the metadata, the extension, everything about it indicates to you it is just a blueprint. There's nothing hiding in this. There's no way he could be sending something malicious.
Okay, she'll go ahead and open it. Sure
enough, it is a blueprint for a kind of medium complexity component for a small, very particular type of engine that you are able to figure out like would definitely fit in one of these mining rigs. So he does seem to be telling the truth that he legitimately is just looking for someone to fabricate this part for him.
Okay. I'm going to look at Aryn because she obviously gets to make the last call on this and say, it's simple. I believe I would be able to fabricate something to make the repair. I, however, couldn't tell you, or actually from the blueprint, can I tell, or from even looking at the device, can I tell exactly what these things' purposes here is? Like, are they literally just mining, or is there something else that
all you've got is the blueprint for an engine part, so you can't really get anything out of that.
And the ships don't appear to be doing anything weird, like planting a mine in the middle of the asteroid or anything stupid?
No, they appear to be mining. They're pulling stuff out of the asteroid and putting them in containers.
Okay. Well, I'll tell Aryn that if I had about 10 minutes, I could craft a piece for his device, and I would get it up and running.
Yeah, you'd need to use the universal fabricator for something this big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the fabricate spell, my bad.
No, like the universal fabricator on the Saratoga.
Okay.
You estimate it's going to be about 10,000 credits worth of Omni Gel to make this.
All right, I will definitely communicate that to Aryn.
All right. Aryn will give you a nod and say, all right, send it on up then.
All right. She'll send it to... Is there anyone on the ship who specifically runs the fabricator, or...
There's no one in charge of it, but you can send it to one of your engineers or Adam, and any of them can do it.
I'll send it to Little Miss Racist.
You're sending it to yourself? What?
All right. She'll begrudgingly go make the thing.
I'll send it to Ryle.
Okay. As that's happening, the miner puts his hand out towards Aryn Appreciate the help, Captain.
It's our pleasure.
Ooh, snuffed.
Oh, he's offering a handshake.
Yes, he's offering a
Yeah.
handshake.
All right, yeah, I'll oblige him then.
All right, he shakes your hand.
How dead
Then
am I?
No. Then he walks over and he reaches like shoulder deep into one of these big metal containers. He pulls out a glistening crystal, and he comes over and he holds it out to you, and he says, "I don't have any credits on me, but sell this to the right people, you'll make 100,000."
Would help to find the right people if I knew what it was. I'll go ahead and take it from him.
All right, you take it.
Do I get a hint?
Yeah, he says.
Nope.
He says, "The street name's Ambrosia. I wouldn't go flashing that around in council space."
I'm
get the
sure this
feeling
was a
you're
long
holding-
shot.
You get the feeling you're holding something very illegal, Aryn, but he said it was worth 100,000 credits. So this is a decision point.
Do
Oh,
I
boy.
can I make any kind of a check to know what he's talking to know what this is?
Yeah, that's what I was curious about too.
Let me see
Well,
here.
Plus, the commander also said the captain also said she wanted to go to, or likes Ilium, so we could always go there.
Yeah, so if you want to make a history check, and again, if you're not trained, disadvantage.
Wow, the Krogan doesn't know what a drug is.
Ray,
Damn,
you've heard of Ambrosia. It's the crystallized remains of an extinct alien species found only on the very outer edges of the Terminus system. It's valuable because when powdered, it is considered to be a very, very effective aphrodisiac.
Ah.
But it has a lot of horrible side effects, and you can get addicted and you can overdose and die. So it's super illegal. This is
Nice, we just
more
got-
or less, yeah.
We just got ecstasy incarnate.
Yeah, it's very illegal. But very valuable.
As Ray kind of like registers what it is in her head, she can't help but like giggle childishly, and she says, "We should definitely hold on to that, Commander. I think you would enjoy it. In fact, I think one of the pilots would enjoy it if I've talked to them enough."
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Just imagine how horny this entire species must have been if their bones are an aphrodisiac.
It's like rhino
They
horn.
probably weren't reacting to it the way the idiots are that are, huffing it.
Look, being prolific is a survival feature.
Yeah, I mean that's true. The nose of humans is an aphrodisiac for the Omicronians in Futurama. So random fact, but
Yeah, Aryn will let Ray hold on to it.
oh, she doesn't want it.
You didn't tell her what it was. You just said
Yeah,
hold on to it.
She said hold on to it. She said, the fact that
She will send a little note to Aryn, like on her thing, explaining what it is, like
Yeah,
basically a
the
Wikipedia
fact-
definition.
she's on to that it's highly illegal when you said street name.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, she'll say thank you very much then.
So, Aryn, you get a renegade point.
Oh, another one. Oh boy.
Oh god.
Oh no. So does Ray. Basically, anyone who knows what this is and is cool with it is getting a renegade point.
Hey, we haven't sold it yet.
I know.
We could still
I don't know
turn
if
it
I'd
in
even get
and the whole
check for
location
that.
of the asteroid.
I don't think anyone else even knows what it is, so there's no real opportunity to make a moral judgment on it when you don't know what
I'm
it
not
is.
even down there to make a check on it.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
it's,
down there
it's
either.
not a moral choice for people who don't know what's happening.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, the piece finishes fabricating, and they can just kind of like send it down to you in the low gravity.
All right.
Arturo just Spartan kicks it off the side of the ship.
Oh god.
Well, technically, wouldn't everyone here at least know it was illegal when he said it was illegal?
Yeah, that's actually fair. So yeah, basically, does anyone like raise an issue with this? Because everyone who is complicit with this gets a renegade point. Not that if not like you have to like throw a fucking tantrum about it, but like you get a paragon point if you are at least like, I don't like this.
Aryn knows Kronk will speak his mind, but like Aryn will turn to Shepard for what she feels.
Oh, sorry. I had a brief brain fart. So we are being told what this is.
Yep.
Well, we
know
were
what it
told
is,
it was
you just know
illegal.
that it's
We don't know
legal.
exactly what it is.
You just know it's illegal.
Oh.
You're
Kronk
told-
is, while you can't see his face, you can assume he's unfazed.
I figured.
The only argument I'll put up in Ray's sake is that she doesn't know if the plan would be to sell it or it would be to give it to the council, turn it in, whatever. All she knows is we're taking drugs away from a criminal, so she would want to take them either way. That's the only argument I'll give. If I still get a renegade point, that's fine though.
Either way. Yeah, I'm the thing with the moral choice points is I'm not going to be like it's your character, right? So I'm going to give you guys opportunities to go one way or the other, but at the end of the day, like, it's always going to be player choice with where you want to go with it. I'm never going to be like really draconian about it.
It's not like dark side points in the Star Wars 3-5 system.
Yeah, no, it's like it's like these are your characters. Tell the story about them you want to tell. But in general, I would recommend that if you are completely fine and complicit with this and have no issues with it at all, you definitely get a renegade point here. And if you have reservations about it and your character is not very happy about this happening, then you have my blessing to give yourself a paragon point instead for at least
I'll
being
take a renegade.
not cool with it.
Yeah, Aryn is going to let Ray hold on to it because Ray was the one saying you should have that, but she's not going to use her Spectre status to traffic drugs. She's okay with Ray taking it and selling it and everything, but she is not going to be a part of it.
Oh, okay.
So you can either
You just gave the youngest member of the party and what is essentially a runaway bunch of drugs. That's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, you can either
Not just
sell
You're a cool
it,
mom.
use it,
Sex
or
drugs.
you can use it, sell it, airlock it, whatever you want. But
You're the coolest mom ever, Aryn.
So, so Aryn would know this is a joke, but Kronk is just going to send it at large to everyone. Now that he's paid us, we could just kill him and leave anyway.
No.
Ray's not going to know if it's a joke, and she's going to like start kind of freaking out mentally, like, no, they're going to do it again.
Aryn just like points to the Krogan and says to the guy, "It's a Krogan who thinks he's a comic."
I'm hilarious. Thank you very much.
Off comms,
sense of
Shepard's
humor
gonna
is one thing.
message to Aryn. I'd like to discuss this payment after we're aboard and not in front of the gentleman.
Aryn will
And then just turns off comms and just rolls her shoulders back and just continues to stand there as
Aryn will
human
turn
meat
and
pop.
give a polite nod to Shepard in acknowledgement.
He as he takes the engine part and starts to make his way back over to his mining thing, he says, "Thanks for the help. You're a Spectre, right?"
I never said
How
that.
does he know that?
Shit.
And
Where'd you get
Do you
that
actually-
information?
he does not tell you where he got that information.
I'm
but he
50-50
says,
between
Cool.
Ray
Shoot.
saying yeah or
But
actually being quiet about this.
as he reaches the mining vessel, he says, "I appreciate your open-mindedness despite your situation. If you're ever looking to make a little bit more money, you should head over to Naraka."
So,
And he is transmitting coordinates to you to a planet called Naraka in the Terminus systems.
Kronk doesn't. Kronk's outward comms aren't going. He's just saying this specifically to the cockpit. But this guy has too much information. I think you need to shoot him.
No. We'll be on
I
our
think
way.
the point is he was trying to not tell us that.
Oh, you're telling the ship, but not the party. Okay.
No, the party would
Yeah.
hear. Just he's not projecting it so that this guy could
Gotcha.
hear. Just
Okay.
Oh,
this
okay,
guy.
okay.
This guy knows you're a Spectre without us saying anything. That's a problem.
They are a
Who's
company of
running around
information
currently?
brokers. And she hasn't exactly been doing this for a short amount of time. It makes sense that they would recognize one.
I'm not too worried about it. Let's carry on.
Much for keeping our movements discreet.
Look, we didn't broadcast our movements to anybody. They seemed to know that we were coming regardless. But I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's just get back to council space and make our report.
So as you guys are rappelling back up to the ship, yeah, you see the mining vessel start to work again, and Ray, give me an insight check.
Okay, now I'm back.
Oh, I'm pretty DS at those, but let me take a look.
I'll give you advantage
No.
because it's pretty related to your stuff.
Oh, never mind. It is one of my background, or one of my close skills.
Okay. Well,
And then just in case, I guess.
so he went over to the mining vessel to install the part, and then as you're rappelling up, it starts working again. As you guys get back on board the ship, it takes you a moment. It takes you a second to put two and two together, but standing in the airlock, Ray, you realize that should have taken him a lot longer to install that part. Like, the mining rig started working again way too fast. It's almost like he just went and put the part down and turned it on.
It was
Alright.
all a ploy.
Aaron, Ray's gonna like bite her lip again, and she's gonna wait until after they're outside of blowing him up range, and then she's gonna ask to talk to Aryn.
I love
You
that
should
that's a
wait until we're,
quantifiable
until
distance.
we're outside of not worth going back range.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm talking like we've already gone through the mass relay. Then she's gonna go talk with Aryn.
Pretty petty.
And Shepard also
Not
wanted
petty,
to talk
scared.
with Aryn, so
I think Shepard would have jumped on that conversation sooner.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, Aryn will once we're back on the ship and like helmets off and everything, Aryn will just turn to Shepard and just say, conference room.
Roger. She drops her gear and heads up.
Fortunately, Aryn's gear is pretty light. So yeah, once we're in the conference room, she'll just say, what do you think?
I've got no problem with goodwill. I've no problem helping folks out. I don't like the idea of taking drugs from somebody. The minute that changes hands, it becomes a problem. And at this point, we've got coordinates for the mining installation. We've got evidence. We've got the ability to turn it into somebody to get that stuff shut down, because that's too many graves for people. So if we've got the ability to do that, I'll find a way to floor the credits for the use of the fabricator, but probably not in that kind of dire situation that we need to be selling
The problem with
crystal bones.
problem with evidence and location is it's not actually illegal out here, so it's not like we can report it to authorities who are gonna conduct a raid on it or anything.
I hate this shit. Viable point.
I agree. I'm
The fact that
I'm
he's-
not settled on the idea of taking this with us and using my Spectre authority to traffic drugs. But I'm putting it
his
in.
veiled hint at that was not very veiled.
Well, Ray was the one that wanted to take it, so I'm letting Ray take responsibility for the decisions.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to keep an eye on the kid with the drugs, so.
We'll keep
I'm
a
not
close eye
actually
on
sure
the
she'd know
situation.
what to do with it, though.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on the situation. If she decides it's best to airlock it, then good for her. If she decides she wants to go and sell it and compensate us for the Omnigel that we spent, I'm alright with that as well.
Your call to make? And it's made. Thanks for hearing me out.
Always glad to.
While in the conference room, you do have coordinates to Naraka now,
Mm-hmm.
which means you'll also be able to get a little bit of information on that if you're curious.
Yeah.
Naraka is a terminus system planet. It is not considered habitable. It is basically a hellscape. It is way too close to its sun. The surface is pretty much perpetually molten. Nonetheless, this has been given to you as coordinates as though this is some kind of important planet to the Syndicate, even though, according to official records, it is a ball of lava that nothing and no one could ever live on. So you have a you have a little bit of a hint that there's more to Naraka than anyone like officially has written down anywhere.
Good to know. And Ray, did you want to speak with us as well?
I believe Ray was waiting until you were out
Yeah,
of range.
are we-
Actually, you
yeah.
are. You are out of range.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically,
it would be very inconvenient to turn around and go back now. Yeah.
she's gonna where is Aryn at about that time?
Conference
Like-
room?
Conference room, yeah.
Just sitting in there alone.
Probably looking over the information on Naraka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Skipper
She's gonna
headed
kind
up to
of
the
walk in.
cockpit.
She's gonna kind of walk in timidly and knock on the frame of the ship door. Captain?
Oh yes, Ray, come in.
She'll go and sit down on the other side, as far away as she can from Aryn, and be like, when we were leaving, I noticed a strange discrepancy in his actions. He faked installing the part. He didn't actually use it. That was a trap. That was set up looking for somebody.
He seemed to know that I was a Spectre, which would imply that he knew we were coming.
Yes, but this is currently a Citadel cruiser. We're not leaving any tracks. We're not making notes of jumps we're going through or routes we're taking. So, if he knows, then, if you don't mind me saying, somebody on the ship is communicating it.
Adam, have there been any unauthorized transmissions in the past week?
Oh god, Adam's gonna blame me.
Define authorized.
We haven't had anyone to communicate with. Has anybody been sending any signals off of the ship?
Within what time frame?
Let's say since we left the void.
Nope.
Well, if they knew our plan going out of the Citadel, they would know the route we would have to take back through dark space. They would know where to set it up, knowing we would take the quickest path. So it could have been done any time after we left the Citadel, or perhaps even after just the mission was declared.
Adam, when we left the Citadel, the first thing I ordered was radio silence. How long did that maintain?
The whole time, I'm pretty sure. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention.
Also, Adam's systems have gone down multiple times, whether out of a joke or a practice exercise, so if a message was waiting for a firewall to go down, it could have escaped at that point.
True. Alright. Adam, I want
I
you
may
to...
be incorrect about this, but I just figured I would give you the heads up.
I appreciate that. My worry is that somebody might be trying to implicate us with that crystal coming back into Council space with it.
Well, to be fair, Spectre, you're a Spectre. You're allowed to do whatever you want.
I am, but I don't like using that authority to get away with behavior that would otherwise be illegal.
That is... And she, thinks back to just the butchering of all the Quarians, and she's like, an interesting take.
Admittedly, framing a Spectre would be like a huge waste of time, because you're a Spectre. They're not going to do anything, right? You having that is definitely frowned upon, but technically you just can.
Right. I just worried there might be something bigger at play.
Give me an insight check, Aryn.
Let's see. I'm gonna use one of my renegade points to get advantage on it.
Fair enough. It's appropriate here. Okay.
Nice.
That's a 20. I'll just give it to you. The more you think about the way he spoke to you, the way that he gave you the coordinates to Naraka, paid you for something he didn't need, knew you were coming more or less, this feels more like a recruitment.
That's what I thought. He might be trying to get my Spectre authority to use that to move their illicit.
Yeah. This felt very much like set up to try to get you in, working with them than anything else. Not trying to set you up or frame you,
right.
Trying to recruit you.
That is kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, because Ray, you're pretty sure he didn't need that part. That thing came online way too fast.
Yeah, she's confident in that, but
yeah.
she's just afraid of who was granting them information to know where to be set up, because we're supposed to be on radio silence, and we're supposed to be not being tracked, obviously.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the insight from Aryn was for the space miner's intentions.
Yeah.
And so I gave them to you plain because you rolled a nat 20.
All right. So Ray, given all of that, do you still feel like we should hold on to that crystal?
Well, I can get rid of it if you wish, but the value on the black market is not for no reason. It's a very interesting chemical compound, and I was actually hoping to study it. There's a lot of things in medicine that are created from horrible things. Almost all antivenoms are created from the venom that they were originally created for. So if I'm able to break it down chemically, I might be able to create some sort of medicine or adrenaline shot with it that may be effective for the team. When push comes to shove, it is a natural material, no different than the marijuana on the human planet.
All right, then. You may do so as you wish. Just be careful. The rest of the crew don't all have breathing filters.
I don't know if you want an adrenaline shot that's made from an aphrodisiac. Although I will say that would be very intimidating.
Oh no! Oh no!
Just a drugged
Yeah.
up Krogan full shaft running down the hallway.
Oh no!
It fucking stares you down. I liked you and I want you.
That would be very intimidating. I wouldn't want to
I'm
fight
intimidated.
that.
I'm gonna.
Come
I'm
here.
not engaging in that fight.
Basically, the way she's looking at it is this might be her only chance to ever even look at the material. So if she's going
Oh,
to,
probably, yeah.
that would be the chance. But she doesn't even think she can use it, even if she wanted to, because of her the fact that she's got a different acid type than the normal races. So
Yeah.
Well, the amino versus dextro only matters with proteins.
Yeah, the
Interesting.
aphrodisiac works on everybody.
well, it is bones of a creature. So
It also has side effects on everybody, and they're a little bit different for each species. So it's possible the side effects could be worse for Turians and Quarians, but you're not sure.
But yeah, she tells Aryn that if Aryn doesn't like it being on ship, she can space it. It's not that big of a deal, but she would like to do some studies and research on it. Perhaps I might even be able to find a anti-addiction, a way to soothe the addiction of those who have become addicted in the past.
All right, if you think there's some good that can come of it, you're free to do what you want.
Excellent, and
If I start
let
hearing,
me know if you
if I
find any
start hearing
information.
of drug-addled orgies on the ship, though, you know where I'm coming.
Yeah, straight to the orgy.
She doesn't realize it's a joke at first, and she
You mean
like
in the orgy.
rubs her hands together nervously, and she's like, "No, of course not."
Yeah, if you take it as a joke for a moment, she is gonna like fold her arms and like just look at you.
I'm going back to engineering. Let me know if you need anything, and if you find anything on anyone making outside communications, I would like to know. Although I know I'm not exactly privy to that kind of information. And then she'll walk out.
All right. Well, for the time being, I added 100,000 credits of ambrosia to your ship's inventory.
Oh, I put it into my inventory, but I can take it out.
No, I just as a reminder that that's a thing that
That's
we
fair.
have.
If nothing else, that would recoup all of the Omni gel that we've spent on this mission.
That it would.
Could we just liquidate it into Omnigel directly, like everything else?
No.
Just put it in the fabricator, hit breakdown.
Adam, I need you to keep a closer eye on our outgoing communications. Make sure
We
that
could
there's
always
nothing,
sell it for research purposes.
Make sure there's nothing unauthorized going out.
You got it.
As Ray leaves the conference room, Kronk was standing by the door, like on the outside, resting up against it. He makes sure to make direct eye contact with her visor as she walks by, but doesn't say anything, and then just kind of slips into the room.
She smiles and waves, and then realizes that he has like this stone cold face, and she's gonna like bite her lip really hard, and then just kind of run past him.
He slips into the room and looks to Aryn and is just like, "You know they're trying to play you, right?"
Everyone's always trying to play somebody. Just a matter of who plays who better.
I'm just making sure. Sometimes you can be a little surprisingly naive on that.
Don't worry. I've got a handle on the situation.
Right. If anything goes horribly wrong, I'm blaming the robot.
David, you pick up the mass relay. You're pulling in to its space, and you get hailed by comm by the relay staff.
Yep.
They say, Saratoga, come in. It's been a while.
What's
Tell me about it.
define a while?
Did you guys fly back here manually? Jeez. And such a tiny ship, too.
Yeah, well, this thing, she may be small, but she can travel pretty far. How long have we been missing? Just making sure that all of our clocks are synced up. Hit a little bit of a bumpy patch.
We relayed you the Tsukuyomi cluster about 13 days ago.
That looks like we're all synced up. Yep, kind of hit a little bit of a snag. We're on our way back to the Citadel right now, so we're passing through.
David's slight internal fear that we got thrusted through time.
You're goddamn right.
I
He's
wasn't
just gonna
gonna be concerned about that.
He'll flip his comma for a minute and just there's like he'll look to Quincy and he'll just give like a small fist bump and he'll fist bump and he'll go, okay, we didn't get sent through time. There we go. Fuck yeah. Once we get sent through time, I quit. I'm retiring. I'm not going. No. Mm-mm.
He's watched too many movies. Quincy's like, you gotta stop watching those old Earth movies.
Hey man, I wish Doc Brown was around.
Prepare for lunch. We've got a straight shot for you back to the Citadel Prime.
Awesome.
What we really need of right now is a doctor.
We have several.
And on your console, you see they're lining up like all the connecting relays, right? So it's going to be like a zigzag, like boop, 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 to the Citadel. Assuming you don't get trapped in a net again.
Yeah.
Odd.
Fortunately, we dealt with that.
Brace for launch.
Oh boy, hold on to your butts.
And the ship is relayed from one mass relay to the next in a series of 3 jumps through space, eventually coming to rest just shy of Earth and Citadel Prime.
All right, Adam, send the mission report to the council.
Understood. Transmitting now. David, your comms light up again, this time from the Citadel. This is CSEC. We're identifying you as the SSV Saratoga. Captain currently by Spectre Aryn. Can you confirm?
Confirmed, this is the SS Saratoga.
All right, we're opening up a priority dock for you. The council is expecting you.
Awesome. Sounds like we got a shuttle directly to the embassy there. And
Yep, they clear out an embassy dock and kind of electronically wave you in, right? You receive coordinates on exactly where to pull it in. Welcome home, Saratoga.
never thought I'd actually be happy to hear that. I think this goes without saying. While you're doing your whole meeting with the Spectre thing, we're definitely going to need our fuel reserves filled because I'm pretty sure we're running low.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
We need to restock up on everything.
See to it. See what it would take.
For us, nothing. You're a Spectre. They should pump our shit.
Not even that. It's like it's still an Alliance vehicle, so the Alliance should pay for it.
Yeah,
Double comp.
You're pulled into to one of the embassy docks, and pretty much as soon as the ship is like mag clamped in and docked, they immediately start filling your fuel reserves, like without question. It is absolutely still an Alliance ship, and you're not going to be charged for fuel.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe if we were in Terminus space or something, they would, but not here.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, no. If you're out in Terminus space, you're gonna have to find somebody with fuel and
I hope we have a
make a
company
deal.
credit card.
Can we requisition Omnigel?
Yeah. I think I started you with
100,000.
Started you with 100,000. Yeah. I think probably here they'll top you up to 50K here. I would say the 100K was probably like kind of a bit of a backlog, right? Because the Saratoga hasn't really seen action in a long time, so
We've just been piling up.
yeah. So they'll top you off to 50K.
Nest egg gone. No.
You've been saving all that for years now.
I know.
All right. The ship airlock opens, and immediately a lot of the crew of the Saratoga are like, they're all like stretching and getting ready to disembark, and then they remember that they have a different captain and hesitate. And Quincy is like, Captain, do we have permission to take a little bit of a leave here? Or...
Crew is granted shore leave, but again, remember that the details of our mission are classified.
Understood. And yeah, the crew will definitely take advantage of that shore leave.
I will stop.
Arturo watches them all leave, wondering how many of them are never coming back.
I will stop Engineer Mabel on her way out.
Okay.
And just take her aside for a moment.
Yep. She follows you over to the side.
Yeah, she'll say, "Is this your first time serving with non-humans?"
No, not my first time. First time with this many, maybe.
And I'm willing to grant you the benefit of the doubt that you're not prejudiced against aliens. You just don't want to interact with them on a human vessel with a human crew. Do I have that right?
With all due respect, Captain, you offered me an out, and I'm taking it.
Well,
Renegade option, shoot her in the face.
Oh my god.
And you're still welcome to take that.
Yeah, I'm gonna request a transfer.
Do you think that human and non-human integrated crews pose a threat to unit cohesion?
Do I gotta sit here and answer this?
No. But I'll tell you that it's what I think. I also think the military wasn't designed to be an instrument of social change. The problem with that is I've read up on human history, and they once said the same thing about women serving in the military with men, or humans of different skin color working in the same crew, that it would disrupt the unit. And you know what? It did disrupt the unit. But the unit got over it. The unit changed and adapted. And when I came to board, it was to a diverse crew of all genders and skin colors that would have been unheard of in the earlier days of your history. Change is disruptive, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't happen.
I was gonna say there are other skin colors, but then I realized China's black.
Yeah. I'll just give her a nod and be on my way from there.
You got Wolf Glover's black, Winola Thornock is black.
I want to. Yeah. Okay. No.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
this is a diverse human crew.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn Crow is Chinese, but you wouldn't know it.
I definitely wouldn't know it. She just looks like a really pale white woman.
Anyway.
Is what she is.
Wherever you end up, good luck.
Roll this 1/16 Cherokee. All right. Anyway.
All right.
He went on lineage.com and.
I could just imagine the tangent that went down.
All right. Anyway, yeah. She does request transfer.
Okay.
Absolutely, she does.
Still, I just wanted to leave her with that mic drop. So.
And as she walks away, another member of the crew comes over to you, seeing an opportunity for a private conversation.
Oh fuck!
It better not be who I. It better not be who I think
I know who it is.
I swear to fuck.
Oh,
I'm hiding in a corner to watch this.
Well, that's not who I expected.
Oh, wait, no. Never mind. We good.
Oh, it's not showing up for me. Did it give you
David Billings?
Yeah, Gunnar David showed up for us.
Yep,
Or
Davin
Davin.
Billing.
He's
Yep.
not showing up for me, but yeah, there he is. Did it do the handout? Did it open the
Yeah,
handout?
the handout came up.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So Davin comes up to you and says, "Hey, Captain.
Oh, Gunnar Billing. What can I do for you?
Well, I don't suppose there's any way I could maybe ask you to get me off of this ship. I'm afraid I don't really. Look, I haven't had a night's sleep since we, I don't even really like talking about it. I fire guns on a ship, and we fired them. We fired every weapon on the ship into that thing, and I'm pretty sure it didn't do anything. I was quite certain I was going to die. I don't really want to be part of this. All due respect.
That's perfectly understandable. Spectre Ops do deal with a level of danger that most are not accustomed to, and if it's not your cup of tea, then that is completely fine. There's no shame in requesting a transfer, but keep in mind that you need to keep your mouth shut about the events that transpired.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Super classified. I get it. I just I don't want to. I don't want to be part of this crazy shit.
Let me put it this way. The Reaper invasion was probably the most public threat to the galaxy, but there is always some world about to be destroyed, or some plague about to break out, or something from dark space about to invade that threatens the very fabric of civilization, and the only reason that people are able to sleep at night is that they do not know about it. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. I would very much like to go back to not knowing about it.
Then you have leave to do so. Wherever you end up, good luck.
We'll do. And as he's walking away, the other gunner, Winola, is like walking by at a slight distance, and goes, "Pussy." Woo! Valhalla!
Oh
Valhalla! I love Winola so.
The first words we ever heard come out of her mouth.
I need you to mute, my dude.
Oh.
You might want to just do push to talk. I'm being real with you.
I don't want to hear about those jalapeno poppers again. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That sounded pretty good.
So yeah. And as she's walking away, Davin kind of joins her for like they're gonna go get a drink, and Davin's like, "You're fucking crazy. You're gonna get eaten by some demon," and she's like, "Fuck yeah."
What a way to go. It's memorable.
She's like, I ain't gonna just die in bed of diabetes like you. I want to die in a demon. That's cool. Let's fucking go.
Damn.
I suppose
Winola's ready to rock. She's ready to go down shooting.
I suppose that's the kind of crazy that Spec Ops need.
At least not all humans are worthless cowards.
Does Ray get informed that she decided that she was going to leave the ship for good?
That would
The
be
other
up
engineer?
to Aryn.
I mean, this was all as the crew was disembarking for shore leave. She just like pulled me aside. It wasn't like at an official channel or anything. So if she didn't say anything to Ray, then
Ray's going to be very sad.
Yep. So you've lost for the time being. No one else asked for a transfer. You do see among the security that like as those two are each like taking turns asking for a transfer, you see Rolt looks at Casper and is like, "Hey, you want to transfer off this ship?" And Casper's like, "You fucking transfer, you goddamn coward!" And he like shoves him. "How about you transfer? I saw you piss your pants." Casper's like, "I did not. I told you I spilled my drink." And they start fighting in the hallway.
So as they're fighting, Kronk is
Love
going to
my
walk
idiots.
up to the two and is like, "If you have this much energy, maybe we should run it off. Who's up for some laps?"
I will tell you, nothing will make you run faster than a Krogan charging at you with a raging heart on.
You would know that from experience, wouldn't you,
The
Spectre?
ambrosia adrenaline shot will revolutionize
God.
warfare.
And now we know the real reason you two have been together for so many years.
I remember that.
Each other's kinks.
I remember that mission in Asari space.
We don't talk about that.
I feel like we're talking about it.
You don't. Enough ring calling me, and I'll be more than happy to share.
Where'd that flask go?
Just ready to go hit up a bar.
Julie Rover disembarks behind the security as Kronk is chasing them down the hall, and Julie just kind of sighs as she passes Aryn and says, like, "I know what we saw out there, and it's my figuring that if someone doesn't stop whatever that thing is, transfer into another ship isn't going to save us. So I don't see much point."
Aryn will smile.
Oh,
Glad
my
to have you
speech
aboard.
got to her.
Someone's got to do it. Yep. So the crew is fully disembarked.
Poor Julie. I talked her into dying with the rest of us.
That's awesome.
Well done.
Yeah, none of
Whoa.
the security transferred off.
I'm sure that won't be on your conscience when she's in your arms dying. So,
Shut up.
I mean, here's the thing, though. She's not wrong. At this point, transferring off the ship is not never dealing with this problem again. It is making it someone else's problem while you sit back and know it's happening anyway.
Oh, I know. That's exactly what Arturo told her in the first place. Was just like, if you leave, that's fine, but this problem's going to catch up with you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Shepard? While I'm handling the council, can you see about organizing replacement crew?
what channels do you want that to go through, considering what we know now? What duty rosters should I be looking through?
Duty rosters?
List of names. Whatever. I don't know. Military terms of where do you want me to find the next crew of crazies to replace the two we lost?
Which, admittedly, the Saratoga has now gone from having 2 engineers to having 2 engineers. And it went from having 2 gunners to, like, there's still, like, 3 if you count Juvius and Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone else has heavy weapons.
Yo.
The point is that, like, the overall, like, crew of the ship actually is still, like, more than it was when you got it. Because members of the party have, like,
Yeah, we
filled
gained
in
4, lost 2. Yeah. makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so it's not like you have, like, gaping holes in your roster or something. I mean, you can recruit more. You don't need to.
All right. Yeah, if you feel it's necessary, Shepard. But also, while I'm doing that, could you get in touch with the dock crew and we'd like to arrange
Getting those.
Huh?
See about getting those lights replaced.
That, yeah, any necessary repairs to the interior and exterior, but also maybe spiff the ship up a bit. Maybe get thinking a decal, something on the side. Maybe some flames.
Are you
Hey,
being serious?
Are you serious? Because Ray would totally
Do
be
you
down to
want
do
us
that if you
to
ask her to.
pimp this ship?
Oh my
Is that
God.
what I'm understanding?
What I want is to not be eternally in debt to an AI. If you catch my drift.
Adam asked for a cool
Oh
paint job
no!
with flames.
Of course
It
he
doesn't
did.
have to be a full overhaul of the exterior. Just something
That's-
noticeable.
Skinny orc. If you paint it red, put flames on it, it'll go faster.
Just
And humans are space orcs, so
just see to it.
Any particular color for the flames,
You can consult with Adam.
Spectre? Aye, ma'am.
That AI is going to be the death of me. Make no mistake.
He's going to be the death of all of us, and that's not a mistake.
If
that's
we're
just
not the death
reality.
of him first.
There was talk about scrapping him.
I'm fairly certain he's smarter than all of us.
We'll table that option for the time being. All right, now I'll make my way to the council chambers.
All right. Okay. As you are approaching the council chambers, you receive a message in your comms. It's well, not comms. You receive like a text reply to your report, more or less, right? And it says, "We've read the report. We would like to meet with you in the council chambers. Please have your crew in attendance in case we need any witness testimony. The meeting will also be attended by a few other interested parties."
All right, then yeah, I'll forward that that message to the away team, so that everybody is there at the time that they wish.
Kronk is halfway to the bar, realizes that he's going to need to give a report.
Yeah, I will add.
Grunts frustrated and turns around.
I will
I
add a
was
tag
about to
on there
make a
saying
joke.
everybody must be sober.
I was about to make a joke about Arturo being like 1 foot in the door. It's like, crap.
Full sobriety required.
David, are you still in the cockpit?
I'm right here with you guys. What do you want about? Yes.
That's how stealthy he
says
is.
Ray is in the
I hate
cockpit,
to
but
do
he's
that.
gonna run out of the ship.
It's
Try to catch up with the rest of the crew.
Shepard,
Have
you
I
had
told you
your
how much
training.
I
I had
hate-
mine.
Have
I
I
know.
told you how much I hate the council?
Turns out David's actually more stealthy than Arturo. He just doesn't have the nerves to keep him calm in battle.
Aryn,
I was in
before we actually go in, Aaron's going to address the group, just so everybody knows what to be prepared for. Which is, don't get upset about any criticisms they make. No matter which decision we've made in any case, they'll have something to criticize about it. All we do is explain our rationale, receive whatever critical rebuttal they have after that, and move on to the next subject. That's the key with them, is don't get upset, keep the conversation moving. Okay.
Don't shoot the mouthy politician.
Okay.
Got it, boss.
We could always tell Joker to cut communications.
We can't do that when we're in the council chambers. When we're making a remote report from the ship, maybe. But not while we're local there. They control the comm channel, unfortunately, so there is no option to say, I don't have to deal with this. And close the channel.
I'm so glad I'm not the one that has to talk.
Not yet.
Don't worry, whatever blame there is, it's being laid at my feet.
You say that now. That's sweet.
And we will go in.
All right. We're going to call our break there for tonight. All right. So be back in 10 minutes to meet with the council.
Yay! Council.
Mucho gusto.
Gross. I turned you off. Turn off.
As you enter the council chambers, you find them precisely how they were the last time you were here, a couple weeks ago.
Oh boy.
There are, as you were told there would be, a few figures in this room in attendance. They are kind of cast in shadow in the back of the room. There's 3 of them. They're inside of a kind of protected booth almost with like with shadowed glass in front of them, so it's hard to make out who it is. But you were informed ahead of time, Aryn, that there would be a little bit of an audience to this.
Mm-hmm.
And as before, the holograms of each member of the council appear, but you know that they won't be able to see or hear you until you step into the circle of light. There is seating on the outskirts for the rest of your team until they are called upon. What?
Shepard, you were kind of fuzzy right there. Couldn't hear you.
Heads over to the area which would be designated crew seating and just stands out of the way.
All right.
Yeah, even if it's away from everybody else, I'm literally gonna go find the exact same seat we were sitting with before, and I'm gonna play. That's my seat. I'm gonna take my seat.
All right.
And I'll go stand on the hot circle.
All right. As soon as you step into the circle, the council speaks. And the first one to speak is the Solarian, who says, "We read your report and found it to be very interesting." And then the Asari counselor says, "And concerning." I just want to confirm there wasn't some kind of mistake. The report we received talked about a biotic field the size of a solar system and a giant alien many, many times the size of your ship. Hallucinations, nightmares, and some kind of shadow monsters?
The alien itself we didn't see physically. The entire void was like an inky black darkness that we couldn't see through. But when it appeared in our minds, the sense of scale was apparent to all of us. Other than that, yes, it is all correct.
So, says the Solarian, you experienced some kind of shared hallucination in dark space.
It felt more like a communication.
The counselors kind of look at each other. Some of them look like they were maybe expecting you to correct your report, like it was wrong. So they're a little bit surprised that you didn't. The Asari counselor... Eventually the Asari counselor is the one to speak. She seems to be taking a tone that is a fair bit more like the Solarian has been very kind of condescending and dismissive about it, but the Asari is actually seems to be taking you seriously for some reason. And she says, could you, in your own words, describe what this shared nightmare felt like? Do you think it was biotic in origin?
It definitely felt biotic, to a degree of power beyond anything I've ever encountered. Whatever caused it was very, very powerful. It brought everyone that it affected to some traumatic time of their life, and if none could be found, it fabricated some to give everyone a sense of dread and doom and shame. and then appeared to us in those visions in, I suppose, the form that it wanted us to see. It could have been anything, but regardless of its size, it felt immensely, immensely powerful.
The Turian counselor finally speaks up and says, "Could you describe its form to us?"
It was... If I had to compare it most directly to something, it looked somewhat like a Reaper, but with eyes and many more legs. Its shape was roughly similar, but its appearance much more different.
When you say Reaper, some of them gasp. A few take a step back, but the Turian counselor presses on.
No, of
Can
course.
you tell us what you mean by different?
It had a similar shape in its body, but more appendages and what looked like eyes covering most of its body. It did not look mechanical in nature. It looked like...
Not mechanical, you say.
Correct.
So this was an organic life form.
To describe it by the form that we saw, yes. All we saw was a vision in our minds.
You didn't encounter it physically?
Only an extension of its will. It manifested some bipedal creature on our ship that attacked us and drew us into these visions. But no, we did not see the thing itself, because the void was inky black and we could not see anything outside of our own ship, aside from what we saw in our visions.
The Quarian counselor says, you mentioned something about these things being vulnerable to light. Can you describe what that looked like?
Initially, we were trying to see better in the darkness, so we turned on the ship's exterior lights, and they were immediately attacked by whatever was outside. And then, when we made a part of our ship dark, the bipedal extension manifested, and it seemed to be weakened when we shone bright lights on it. It was not sufficient for the entire void outside the ship, only for the small portion that made it inside. And if light was enough to dispel this, I imagine that the system's sun would have done that. I think by being apart from its whole, the one that we encountered on board the ship was weakened.
I see. And then the Asari counselor says, I fear this may confirm my previous suspicions. I think the council and I can agree that there is a very powerful biotic likely hiding out in that system, using hallucinations and illusions to conceal their presence and protect themselves. It may have been a mistake to send only one Asari. We may want to send an entire squadron of biotics to counter this. And many of the counselors nod and agree. The Turian says, yes, that tracks. Likely everything in this report was a shared hallucination. I'm sure everyone on board the ship got taken in by some kind of biotic influence.
Yes, of course. One lone biotic is projecting an illusion that makes the entire solar system disappear to cameras this far out. Fucking idiots.
That's not true, though. Two of us weren't brought in for the thing.
I
And
know.
she's just going to say that to one of the other crew next to her.
We're just assuming that they can't hear us because
They
it's probably
can't.
like last time.
Yeah, they can't hear you.
And so Kronk is just like, these fucking idiots.
But
Yes, because all of that footage that I sent them was definitely in a hallucination.
with all due respect, counselors, I don't think sending more people in would be the answer. They would all come back dead if they came back at all. We were lucky to get out with our lives. It let us go so that we could deliver a message.
Deliver a message? Can you please clarify?
It told us that we would be its messengers for its lesser brethren. We don't know what exactly that means, but it sounds to me like there are others like it somewhere in the galaxy that it is seeking revenge upon or something. I don't think it's simply a powerful biotic out there. It's something tremendous, something that didn't come into our galaxy because the Reapers were a presence here. And if it's something that could only be threatened by the Reapers, it may be beyond our ability to handle without more information.
The council seems to be kind of deliberating right now. They've all like muted themselves to talk amongst themselves. Eventually, they turn the voice back on, and one of the human counselors says, "We understand, and rest assured, we won't do anything rash. Whoever or whatever is responsible for this mass hallucination is clearly very powerful, and will have to take due precaution. At this time, there's no sign of any change with the system, so perhaps the most prudent option would be to be patient and see what their next move is." And the other counselors all nod. Yes, we'll just wait and see if anything changes.
Well, to me that at least sounds more prudent than sending more bodies out there, so Aryn will not dispute that.
Thank you very much for your report. So, Spectre Aryn, do you feel this matter concluded, or would you like to request the continued support of the Saratoga and its crew? We won't take you off this mission if you don't think that the case is closed, but we've received the information we wanted from you, so at this point, we'll leave it to you whether to let the case rest or not.
Well, the reconnaissance mission is at its conclusion, but I don't think the event that triggered all of this has concluded yet.
Well, as a Spectre, it's your right to choose what to do with your time. So we will go ahead and change the duration of the Saratoga's service under your command to indefinite, and just inform us when you feel satisfied with the conclusion of all this.
Aryn will give a nod and say, "Thank you, Council, and I will reach out if I require additional resources."
Understood. And they disconnect.
What
You know,
the
if
hell
they're
are
just
we
going to
for?
ignore everything we say, they should be taking on these missions their damn self.
Look, it's their job to be skeptical.
No, it's their job to pay attention to what we say and protect the galaxy. They're being skeptical because they're scared and lazy.
Hey, Zan,
Regardless,
as this whole thing has happened, the people in the back window, have they moved at all?
After the conclusion, the three people in the back window stand, and they move out of view as though leaving the room by some exit you can't see.
So I wonder if we can figure out
They
who
asked
they
us
are.
for to be here for eyewitness accounts, but they didn't ask any questions of any of the other crew. I don't think that they were actually wanting us here to talk to us. I think they were wanting us here as a warning. I think they do not want you to pursue this further, Spectre.
well, if we don't, whatever that thing was might do worse harm throughout the galaxy. If it's just
I agree, but be cautious.
If it's just going to sit there and be harmless, then it's no big deal, but the messages that it was sending us did not seem to imply that it intends to stand idle forever.
Just perhaps future endeavors on this behalf, maybe some of it should be held until you have more information that you can deliver to them. I don't want them to take you away from us just because they are annoyed by the updates.
That's good advice. We'll make sure that we have something more solid next time. For now, though, we were just asked to go out and report what was there, and I feel like we did that. But we can now pursue this in our own direction. And I'm open to suggestions on where we can go next.
When Aryn says that, David immediately looks over towards Shepard. I mean, I have a suggestion, but it's kind of out of the way, so we'll just.
Floor's open, Mr. Moreau. Don't hold back.
To be fair, we don't really know what is on the way at the moment.
We don't have a way to go yet, so.
I mean,
If we're going to discuss that, it shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Alright, shall we reconvene on the ship then? After everyone's had their trips to the bar?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Shepard takes off out the front door. I want to see if I can figure out where their exit was.
Okay. As you get out the front door, it quickly occurs to you that their exit didn't even open up into this hallway. It left the opposite direction, and so it's very hard for you to determine that. You don't find another door that leads around the council chambers to the opposite side at all.
Damn. Makes sense that they would have more places to have subterfuge and all sorts of hiding stuff. Oh, fuck. Anyways, she heads back in. That was probably stupid, but... And she's still looking at the back window. Sorry, shadowy figures are... concerning.
That usually goes with their whole motif, yes.
Well, I understand, but council reports don't typically come with an audience.
No. If it is a situation where we do have a little bit of play in our direction, then there is definitely a waypoint that I think David and I would be interested in checking out. But that would definitely be best discussed once everyone's back aboard and ready to go, and not before.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Then I'll see you all back on the ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see if I can find something interesting, but otherwise, I'm just grabbing snacks.
Don't forget my red vines.
Yes, okay.
All right, well, you're all here in the embassies of the Citadel.
Would anybody like to give Ray some donations so she can go get Omnigel to fill up our supply a little bit more? I've got 3,500 and I'm willing to spend 3,000 of it, but more would obviously be better.
Well, we don't have any more credits than we started with, unfortunately.
You can fix that.
True enough.
Well, every little
Pretty sure
bit
I have
helps.
starting credits left over, but I don't have them written down because I didn't get a lot of gear.
And it'll be more expensive to buy them while we're out and about rather than in the Citadel, so I figured I might as well do it now.
I mean,
How
I've
much
got...
did we start with for starting credits?
10,000.
Yep.
That was after gear purchase. like all the gear that you started with, and 10,000 credits.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with the 10,000 after that?
Well,
Buy more
that's why
gear.
that's what I
Have
would-
it.
You hold on to
Yeah,
it.
that's where I would. Yeah, I was going to look around the Citadel for anything interesting, but if it's just common shit, then I'm just gonna be like, out of here.
So that what you do is you spend it on shore leave. You know, booze, brothels, bacon, the three essential Bs.
All right. Well, I'm going to get 9,000 more credits worth of Omnigel, at the very least. Because I actually spent all my credits on my gear, but if I have
Yeah.
10,000, then
You know,
I'll put
you
9,000
could
in.
just spend it on the things that you might use the Omnigel to turn into later on. It would be more efficient that way if you were like buying Metagel or something.
Yeah.
Remember, using the Metagel is a 1.5%. Whereas if you just go ahead and buy the thing, you're just buying it for the cost it actually is.
It's 5,000 for a Metagel, right?
Yes, 5,000 for a Metagel, 7,500 if you use Omnigel to make it. So it's cheaper
Yeah,
to
I
just
mean,
buy,
I
straight
have
up buy
3
the
Metagel, and I assume the ship will be stocked with at least a bare amount.
That's what we used the amounts that were on the ship. That's why we were making some with Omnigel.
But also, Ray kind of has some ideas for upgrades to the ship and stuff, so she wants to make sure that there's plenty of extra Omnigel for fabrication.
Okay, makes sense.
While everybody's out gathering or whatevering, Shepard's gonna take a detour to the Presidium with no name, where she just kind of pops out of one of the elevators and just kind of tucks into a back corner behind some trees or something and just takes 15 minutes there, and then she'll head back to the ship.
All right.
Yep. Just getting snacks, stocking up on more food supplies, and also picking up dextro food supplies for Juvius and Ray. And then I'll head back to the ship.
Ray's basically just going to get, like, the 9,000 Omnigel added to the ship supply, and then she'll head back. She doesn't really have much more that she wants to do on the Citadel.
Makes sense.
The elevator sucks! Don't look at me.
Once Shepard comes back to the ship, Aryn will have a chat with her.
Her eyes are looking a little red-rimmed.
Is everything all right?
Oh, just stopped to say hi to the family. I'll go get the disc. And she just goes back to her room and grabs the coordinates.
Adam speaks once you guys all get back on board. Spectre, you have 3 classified high-level emails waiting for you on your terminal.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Probably for the shadowy figures.
Yeah.
Kill them.
Probably high importance.
I get the feeling Adam read. I got the feeling Adam read all of them. And was like, "Aw, none of these are saucy."
There is no tea for the spilling in these messages.
All right. Well, Aryn will actually check those first, then, and say to Shepard, like take what time you need to handle whatever you're going through. I will be with you in a moment.
I'll be in the cockpit. Shepard heads up, takes one look. David's sitting in his seat still, right?
Yeah.
Or is he?
Yeah, David's back in his seat. But when you walk in, he'll hold up the red vines.
She
So,
snags the package, pops them open. We're not going this time.
Of course we're not.
She hasn't said it. Don't be
when you
upset.
guys got back to the cockpit, you did notice that all the chairs have been upgraded. They're sleek, breathable leather now.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, well then hold on. I let me rewind that then. When Shepard walks in there, he's just sitting there bouncing in his chair a little bit, like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. When did this happen? Oh shit! Hey, Shep, here. Everything.
Grabs the red vines, looks at you a little funny. Something
Leather
new
seat.
and happy?
He stands up and motions to the chair. Look, take a seat.
Alright. She slides into it. Oh. Okay, that is nice. That is nice. You didn't want to sit back down, right? And she kind of just adjusts, shifts into it.
Last
All
I
right.
checked, you can't pilot your weight up a paper bag, but okay.
So, Aryn, do you go to your terminal?
Yeah,
Your
I'm going
quarters?
to my quarters.
Okay.
For this.
You enter your quarters and go to your terminal, and you have 3 messages waiting for you, and they are like triple encrypted, super high security.
Mm-hmm.
They appear to be from Admiral Reach, the Admiral of the Alliance, Amaris Lazari, the most powerful living matriarch that not only do you not have to make a history check for, there's probably not an Asari alive who hasn't heard her name, and Novium Victus, the current Victus of the Turian government.
Okay, well, we'll go in the... I'll open them in the order that they were received.
All right. The first one is Admiral Reach. A small hologram of him appears, but it's clear that it's a recording.
Mm-hmm.
Spectre, I sat in on your meeting with the Council, and I'm especially interested in a point you made. But apparently this creature mentioned more of its kind? I might be able to help you. The late Commander Shepard had an encounter with creatures of a similar description. It's highly classified. Not many people are in the know. But if you go to the research station ODR-7, you'll find a scientist who looked into this with Shepard. She might be able to help you. And that's it. You have coordinates to ODR-7, where a scientist that worked with the late Commander Shepard apparently got into some pretty classified stuff with creatures matching that description.
All right, that is interesting.
All right, going in order, right?
Yep.
The next one is Novium Victus. He appears and says, Spectre, I'm not taking any chances. We've learned from the mistakes of our past. As soon as you're able, I want you to come straight here to Palaven, where we will hold a strategic meeting and figure out what we can do to ready the galaxy for its next catastrophe. If this is a red herring or a false alarm, I would rather have wasted the time and resources preparing for nothing than face another in-game scenario. I'll be awaiting you.
Okay.
So that's Novium Victus,
I like
inviting
him.
you to Palaven.
I like a man of action.
The last message is Amaris Lazari, which is it's a little bit it feels a little bit strange for you to be receiving a message from this person, because again, this is a matriarch who is widely considered the most powerful living biotic in the galaxy right now. There's not even like an Asari child who doesn't know this matriarch's name. Inspector, your mission is of interest to me. Our people have been experiencing recurring nightmares recently. Not all of them. It seems to be restricted to matriarchs, particularly those of very strong biotic gifts. And the more gifted they are, the more frequent and terrible the nightmares. I believe that this may be related to your encounter. Come to Thesia and meld with me. I wish to experience what you experienced. And that's the end of the message.
Alright, well, that gives us some directions to go. At least we have options.
Here's your mission terminal.
So,
and the Syndicate has invited you to Naraka to make some very profitable deals. That's on there too.
Very, very profitable deals.
So we've got explore the Normandy, go learn more about Leviathans, go talk to the current Primarch, or go get yourself a booty call with a very old lady.
Or,
Looking for
alternatively, deal some drugs.
We're going to do some illegal shit.
I assumed the drugs would be involved in the booty call, if I'm being honest.
After the chair interaction, there was still the comments about we're not going.
Yeah. And then the downward mood swing. Yes.
We're not going? Why not?
You don't know that.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
don't
you weren't
either. Yeah, you weren't there.
Yep.
Okay.
You weren't there.
God.
All right, then. In that case, I would call the senior staff to the conference room to figure out our next move.
All right, I've updated the mission terminal to include the Normandy things too, because like, I feel like I might put like a separator line where the Normandy and the Syndicate stuff is kind of like extra bullshit to do, and then the top three. Well, you know what I mean. Main quest, side quest kind of thing, right?
Main
like,
plot line. This little
like main plot line, side plot line. Yeah.
Yeah, journal entries and primary tasks from the first game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to meet with the crew then, Aryn?
Yes.
All right.
Kind of shoves David a little bit as she walks past. Well, let's go find out what happened. And heads towards the conference room.
All right. I'm assuming that all 7 of you enter the conference room. Is that correct? Everyone's in attendance?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as
who
Ray
passes
is considered a senior member of the staff, then she will.
All right. Yep. You would be at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll get her a high chair.
And every last one of you that walks in.
Damn.
Krogan, beef jerky. Arturo, here, snack. Oh, Juvius, Ray, dextro-based snacks. There, you're welcome. I'm considerate. I learned.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Yeah, welcome.
So we do have some leads on our possible next moves. I got a few messages from some of the shadowy figures that were behind the window.
Lovely.
Apparently, the humans have encountered something like this before, and they keep it at the top level of classification, but one of their scientists might have some info on what we encountered. there's a Turian dignitary who is, he strikes me as a man of action and is ready to waste no time preparing the galaxy for a potential catastrophe, if that's what this indeed is. And if we had had something like that when the Reapers were threatening, then the war might have been a lot shorter. And lastly, a very powerful Asari that wants to meld with me to share the experience, because powerful biotics and matriarchs have been having recurring nightmares. From what I gathered, they sounded similar to the ones that we had. So this thing might have already taken hold. I was also told that the humans that encountered whatever this was that might have the info worked with Commander Shepard. So the Normandy's wreckage might also have some information that would be of interest.
Visible
Lucille
shifting
doesn't
in
go
place.
white, but she goes a little white.
Shift in place.
But I'm opening the floor for suggestions on what our next course of action would be. I'm open to ideas.
Well, I think learning our enemy is the most important objective we should pursue. But that may be my personal bias and information gathering coming out.
Can we pull them up on the galaxy map to see where stuff is actually laid out?
Yeah, pulling it up, these destinations are all roughly the same trip. Like, pretty much every one of them is like a mass relay or two, which the difference between one jump and two jumps is basically nothing. The only one that's really out of the way is the Normandy crash site, because no mass relay leads to it. You'll have to actually FTL. You'll be able to mass relay like nearby, and then it's going to be like a week of FTL travel to get to it. Because where the crash site is, there's no active mass relay there. But getting to Thesia, Palaven, and the research station, ODR-7, those are all just a matter of hit the mass relays and you're there.
Arturo will kind of sit up and go, like, if I were to put forward a suggestion,
Go ahead.
we should go to ODR-7 first. See what we can learn about what this thing might possibly be, and gather what information that we can about anything regarding that. And then from there, go see that matriarch of yours, get further insights on what this is. Victus should probably be our last one, because if anything, it would be best to show up to him with more information than we have now.
If he wants to prepare the galaxy, it's good to know what we're preparing it against. That sounds good.
Exactly.
That sounds good to me. Does anyone have any opposition?
Lucille looks across at David. Arturo's got the best plan of action.
Personally, I would say go to Normandy first, but that's probably mostly my bias coming out. But if we take that out of the way now, we'd never have to deal with it again, number one. And all the other jumps are far faster.
I think depending on
2
what
weeks.
we find at ODR-7,
I
it
know.
might determine how important it is to go find the Normandy.
The messages all did imply some sense of urgency.
Yeah. Well,
Now
it's
isn't
not like
the
it's
time.
doing it.
The people with
I mean,
sway
why
in the
not?
galaxy are in a hurry.
The only worry
Yeah,
I
it's-
have. The only worry I have is that if the Turian army doesn't have time to prepare, and we don't know what our time frame is here, and if it's sooner than we think, it would be nice to at least have whatever Turian resources we have available and ready, rather than waiting around for us to show up. But if you think we have enough time to visit all three before whatever happens, then I think that the Turian is correct in his I can't pronounce the word, in his idea.
Ah, fuck it. It's been a few decades since we crashed. What's a few more?
depending on the info that we get from the humans, that it might make it more prudent to visit the Turians right after that. One thing you can say for Asari, they're patient.
Regardless of the second and third stop, we need to know what it is. If we don't know what it is, we can't do anything about it. Because what we know right now is
Jack
nothing.
and shit.
We know it's there.
I'm just glad
But
somebody's
that's-
taking this seriously.
I was legitimately waiting for air quotes during that meeting. I'm not even lying.
Yes.
Yes.
The fact that-
Cthulhu.
Don't act like you know about
fact that
Cthulhu.
they actually, the
I'm
fact
not
that they
gonna
actually
lie.
listened, I was shocked.
Yes, as
Genuinely
council reports go, that was actually quite amicable. I dare say they were actually receptive.
If they'd actually pulled us up for eyewitness accounts, Arturo was going to start off his thing with, "Have you guys? How much do you guys know about H.P. Lovecraft?"
I mean, they were
The
calling
rapist.
calling it hallucinations a whole lot, which
Yeah, I didn't like that.
they're still dumbing it
That-
down a little bit, but that
That
is
felt like the air quotes.
but it is their job to be skeptical. Fortunately, the people in the shadows, the shadowy figures, seem a little more proactive, and those are our best resources. So we're in agreement. ODR 7 first.
Yes.
ODR 7 first.
ODR 7 first.
All right, Mr. Moreau, plot us a course and get us moving. Shepard, if I can speak with you for just a moment after this.
Aye, aye.
And just like that, same day, you're saying goodbye to the
Mhm.
Citadel Prime.
I'm not gonna miss it.
No. Miss Earth, not gonna miss the thing around it.
So, seems that we're a crew for an extended stay for the time being. And I thought that we might want to give Ray and probably Juvius as well some sort of assignment on the ship. I was considering chief engineer and weapons officer, unless you think the human crew that have been here longer should be considered for that instead. Talking with Shepard.
Thing, as far as Ray goes, it would be good to see the dynamic play out a little bit longer in engineering. Just to see. Because it might be a situation where Glover might be able to work under her. Because we both know she's at a superior level. But considering the incident, I'm not sure I would lay anything down in stone just yet. That might develop organically. As far as Juvius, I see no problem with that. I think that would be a good place.
All right then. We'll leave engineering alone for right now, and we'll assign Juvius to weapons. I know you were probably hoping to get your ship back sooner. I wasn't sure how it was going to go after we made our report.
I'm not as concerned as you might think I would be.
Good.
There's work to be done, there's things that need to be seen to, and handling it with competent individuals it makes it a lot less scary. So who's in the chair at the front of the ship doesn't worry me. It's who's doing this work behind it. So it's fine. I mean, you like sitting up there, right?
I do.
Good. Apparently the seats have been upgraded.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Okay, I'm back.
Anything else?
Well, that's all. That's all I have.
All right. Shepard heads out and puts the disc back in her room.
All right, and I'll head to the bridge.
All right.
I will say at this point, I probably would have already started the whole procedures for leaving the dock and
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
getting clearance. And
You'd probably have us at the relay already.
As you're
Mm.
well, no, you're still on the dock, and
Mm.
as you go to get ready to leave, you find that the ship is not starting, and Adam comes on and says, "All right, now hold on. I am owed a paint job and repairs. We haven't even been here like 3 hours. Come on,
Adam,
my paint
we
job."
have our orders. Trust me, I'm not happy about it either, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So buck up, suck up, and start up. Come on, man, for real. Now you're making me feel bad. Look, I'll get you one of those weird little minted air freshener trees.
Fine,
I would have gone with the fuzzy dice personally.
but there's
It's
a
not tacky.
painting in the Spectre's quarters, and I'm tilting it like 4 degrees.
Make it 4.5.
All right,
That
you
half
leave.
degree always throws it off.
You exit Citadel Prime and start to make your way toward the mass relay.
All right, pulling up coordinates for ODR 7. Quincy confirm. All right, we're good to go.
All right, punch it.
All right, you are relayed through space. After only one mass relay jump, you arrive in a system, and the coordinates for ODR 7 come up. They are not like directly at your point of arrival, but they are very close. You can see that ODR 7 is in orbit around a nearby planet. Seems to be in orbit around a gas giant. So it is a relatively easy thing to just fly your way over there. It will take a little bit, not instant, but you're just kind of flying through the system, heading over toward the gas giant.
I will open comms with them before we get there, so they're not startled by a silent ship approaching them. But I'll send over my my Spectre credentials and request permission to land.
All right. Yeah, in a little bit, that'll be prudent.
Mm-hmm.
You're not quite there yet. You're kind of just cruising through the system right now. FTL would be complete overkill, right? Because you're in a you don't want to like gun it past the planet.
Yeah, we're
So-
doing sublight. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just kind of cruising over there in sublight. I will have to take a short break here. Apologies, but I will be right back. I know we don't usually take 2 breaks, but just 5 minutes. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Take your time.
You hail ODR 7, and you receive a response. Hello, yes, hi. And you hear like breaking glass behind them. You're the Sarah Sorry, this console is half broken. What are you here for?
It's SSV Saratoga. We're just requesting permission to land.
Yeah. That'll be fine. You can definitely land. Hold on, let me check which docks are still operational.
Is everything all right over there? Do you require assistance?
Oh, everything's great. And you hear something else smash behind him. Oh shit! And it cuts off.
Definitely fine.
That sounds fine. We can go.
Let's dock up. Keep the ship at full readiness, though. Anybody stepping off this ship goes with weapons and armor. I don't know what's going on over there, but I want to be prepared. Adam, this station doesn't have any weapons, does it?
Not detecting any weapons on the exterior. There are some automated weapons inside. They do seem to be firing. And a few of them just went offline.
Mr. Moreau, get us in there.
You got it.
Sounds like this is about to be fun.
Alright. You begin to pull the ship into the dock. Everyone give me a perception check as you're pulling into RDR-7. Alright. Arturo, you're the only one who sees it. As you're pulling into dock, you see some kind of shadowy thing skittering through one of the halls, like through a window. And you cannot make out very well what it is, but it seems to be like very bug-like, and it was definitely skittering on four legs.
Oh dear God! There seems to be some kind of insectoid creature on the loose inside the station. At least I'm hoping it's an insectoid thing. All I saw was a shadowy figure that looked like an insect. So hopefully it's not more shadowy figures and it is just an insect.
Lovely.
Make sure the airlock closes behind us. We don't want anything like that getting on our ship.
Seal exterior vents as well.
In fact, after we've disembarked, I'd like Quincy to undock the ship and hold a few hundred meters off of it.
You got it, Captain.
I don't want to leave our ship docked up if they've got a containment breach on something.
All right, so you pull in and you dock with the docking bay, and it becomes airtight. It seals to the space station. Do the seven of you, I presume, enter the airlock to go into the station?
Absolutely.
All right.
Barrier up.
When the other side of your airlock opens, it opens into a large, empty room covered in computer monitors and the like. There's a door sealed shut at the far end, like a big metal door. And there is an individual here. She looks like this. And when she sees the airlock open and sees you guys coming in, she immediately looks very frustrated. Who gave you permission to dock?
Somebody at whatever your primary comms unit, wherever your primary comms unit is.
She storms up to Aryn and gets like right up in your face. You do not have permission to be here. Get off my station.
I'd take a couple steps back if I was you.
She doesn't seem worried about the fact that you're all armed, even if you're pointing guns right at her. She just like storms right up to Aryn.
Arturo is definitely pointing his gun right at her.
Yeah, she seems unfazed by it.
Biotic enhancement activate.
She'll say, I'm a council specter. Are you having some sort of trouble on board your station?
Council Spectre or not, how do you even know where the station is? Where'd you get these coordinates?
Kronk steps up. We were invited.
By Admiral Reach.
Alright, well, we've got a situation on our hands, so you're just gonna have to sit tight. And don't tell anyone what you saw here.
Listen,
You could just let us help.
we're here on Fate of the Galaxy type stuff, so if helping you clear out whatever the problem is here would get us to resolving our situation faster, then we offer our assistance.
Fate of the hell are you talking about? She goes back over to her computer monitor. Oh, fuck.
Do you remember the Reaper invasion?
No, I was born yesterday.
Well, that's what I mean when I say
That's
Fate
right.
of the Galaxies type stuff. We're here on Spectre business, and it is serious. I can't say more than that for now, though.
Uh-huh. Well, the station's on lockdown, okay? And I can't tell you why. And don't look at those monitors. She hits a switch and turns off all the monitors that aren't the one she's on.
Aryn will just hold her hands up and say, "That's fine.
Ray
We're
is
not,
remotely downloading the data.
we're not interested in your secrets for right now." Ray, stop.
You are not, Ray. Does Ray actually try to plug into something?
Well,
I
if she can do it
hope not.
remotely, she might as well, especially if it's all up on the screen.
You can't do it remotely. No,
Oh,
you'd have
then
to,
no, she won't plug into anything.
yeah.
We're not interested in your secrets. Just let us know what we can do to help.
Well, not all of your secrets.
You're not interested in the secrets.
Fuck, camera 7. Jesus, they've gotten so far.
What's gotten so far?
I can't tell you. Just don't look at my screen. Stay over there.
It's definitely.
It sounds like this might be bad. Wouldn't it be so helpful if you had a team of highly trained and competent combatants who could back you up in whatever happens to be going on right now?
Who happen to be
Individuals
heavily
already
armed.
and ready to go.
Wouldn't that be extremely convenient for you?
It'd be so powerful.
Too bad nothing like that has walked its way into your front door in the last 5 minutes.
You're not gonna be used to me dead. If I open that blast door, look, just chill out. I appreciate it, but I really cannot have you guys seeing any of this.
I already saw it through the window.
What did you see through the window?
Some kind of weird, dark, shadowy insectoid creature that was definitely wreaking havoc throughout the ship.
Oh my! Do they have Rachni?
She punches her monitor and then storms back over to the party. Alright, look. Spectre or not, Admiral Reach or not, this is my station. You cannot tell a living soul what you've seen here. No one's supposed to be here, alright?
Understood.
What we're doing is very important. She turns back to her monitor. You wouldn't understand. Stakes are high.
Don't worry, word of what happens here will not go beyond these walls.
Listen, sometimes the ends justify the means, okay?
I'm listening.
If I open that door, there are a lot of Rachni who are going to come flooding into this room. So I would recommend that you get ready for that, if this is what you're proposing.
But that's
Do you have any
impossible.
better alternatives?
Do you have any other options? Really?
Let's take up positions on that door.
Wait, I don't understand. How are the Arachni here?
We'll deal with the how later.
And
The why
no, the
really doesn't
Alliance
matter right
did
now.
not.
Kid, you're going to learn that there are a lot of very powerful, very stupid people.
Well, the only way that they could have done this is if they used the Reaper Arachni, and that seems suicidal.
Yes, it does,
You-
doesn't it?
You assume that you really have a bad habit of assuming you already know everything that's going on in the galaxy. We're gonna have to work on that one.
Well, yeah, you have to think ahead.
We're really gonna have to work on that one.
Positions,
Yeah.
people. Let's go.
All right, give me a quick sec to pull you over to the map.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw the shield on Kronk.
I'm also going to go ahead and activate mechanized joints on the melee users as usual.
I'm going to break
Ah!
down. I'm going to break down a sentinel point, and let's see. I'm going to cast hesitation on Ray.
I'm just gonna go ahead and move roughly like 10 feet away, 10, 15 feet away from the door, and just get my sword, pick it a couple times. Time to go to work.
I am going to cast Biotic Enhancement on myself to give the advantage on Constitution checks and the extra 2d6 shields.
Yeah, me and you on the same wavelength. Let's do this.
And it should go without saying, but I always cast Barrier on myself at the start of the day.
Same. Already did.
And I'm also casting Biotic Inspiration, giving Bless to David, Juvius, and Shepard. Actually, wait, I can cast that at level 2, so also Arturo.
Oh, also, really quick, Shepard, that's your character's name. You're going to go ahead and get shock ammo. I can't remember what it's called.
Disruptor ammo.
Yeah, disruptor ammo.
So you guys have a lot of icons to put on your tokens now, but allow me to introduce you to the laboratory map. This door directly behind you is the airlock door. Assuming that you did order the Saratoga to like disembark and just kind of follow the station,
Yep.
That door is the dead end now. It goes nowhere.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That would have gone to the Saratoga. The room kind of does a U shape, and it goes around, and then this leads deeper into the facility. That's where the Rachni are going to come in. So you've got kind of like, right? You've got a choke point here going into this room. Then you have like another choke point here where this door is. The Rachni are going to be like flooding this room and then trying to get into here.
Well, she's going to be up there. We probably want
That's
to
her control station. Yeah.
So I assume we're
So we
going
probably
to
want
be...
She says I can fall back to the control stations in the previous room if we lose this one, but the problem with losing this room is that, and she points at the big glowing cylinder. That is one of our reactors, which is why I'm in this room safeguarding it. If the Rachni happen to damage that reactor, well, power loss will be the least of our problems because it'll be a nuclear explosion, and we're in the same room with it, so...
What about this door? Can this door be shut?
Yeah.
It can.
Are they in here? Are they in this room currently?
No, this room's
No.
open.
They're going to come through this door over here.
Well, then I say we head them off at the pass.
Just come up in here, close the door behind us.
Pretty much.
All right, they're going to flood in there, though.
I'm about to say, I'm trying. I'm.
You got any better suggestions?
There's no cover in here.
It's okay, it's Rachni. They're probably going to be
There's one
melee
piece.
anyway.
There's one piece of cover right here.
I can
If
also...
they're anything like the Reaper Arachni, they're gonna have mean-ass ranged weapons.
And I can
I'm not
deploy
worried.
my cover too.
I'm about to say, I'm not worried about the cover so that they can't hit me. I'm worried about the cover so that I can do what I need to do. Right.
When one
I
of
don't
you
think-
mentions Reaper Rachni, the scientist will speak, almost sounding offended. No, they're not. these are pure Rachni. They're very much ordinary, correct, organic Rachni.
That doesn't make this any better, ma'am.
Putting my my deployable cover right here. Ray, I think we're going to be closing this door behind us. So
I was gonna say I don't think that's a great idea, just because if they get in through the vents or something behind us, we won't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great idea either, honestly.
okay.
Having the ability to close it in the future is going to be absolutely helpful.
All
but
right, then in that case, if I put my cover right up here, is that close enough that Juvius, you feel comfortable being in range of the things at the door there?
Yes, if that's the cover. Thank you.
And Shepard, you as well, or do you want to be closer?
That's this spot right here. This little nook, is that viable cover? Or is that too small?
It's not really cover, yeah. These machines are. I mean, I guess you could kind of widget yourself in there. It'd be kind of hard to shoot. You'd kind of have to like wiggle into the nook.
That was what I was thinking. Is it might be too small. All right.
So David, Shepard, Juvius, and Arturo have bless. 1d4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
Does the electro ammo do anything different, or is it just a different type of damage?
You just deal electrical damage.
Okay.
It's
Better
electrical
against
damage.
shields.
And it's not reduced by plating. So it's generally better than basic ammo types.
Oh, when inspiration is cast at higher ranks, it affects 2 additional creatures per rank, not just 1. So, Kronk, you're getting it as well.
I'm important.
5 people have bless now.
So
Are we gonna do a bug? Are we gonna do a bug squishing competition? Because I'm game.
Don't die. We'll take count afterwards.
Please, it's me you're talking to.
Exactly.
Also, you two that are behind my cover here, you have resistance to damage from weapon attacks.
That's lovely.
While you're in that cover.
Arachni with a fucking.
I don't know if their ranged
Yeah, I was
attacks
gonna say,
count
do they
as
give them
weapon
more card
attacks,
effects?
but it gives you
No,
resistance to something. There you go.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll take anything. I
hey,
can
that-
get.
Why does that Arachni have an M98 Widow?
Shut up! I've got defense against it. All right. I want to see how many are behind that door so I can cry.
Aryn will give the doc a nod.
All right.
Just bear in mind, Doc, you probably won't be getting any of these things back alive.
Yeah, at this point, I think that's gonna be fine. I guess.
Priorities have taken hold. Good. Good.
All right.
Aryn has not seen Jurassic Park, but if she had, there would probably be some comments about it.
I'm not gonna lie. I have never missed Biotic Nova more than this exact moment.
We really do need more AoEs, don't we?
Did we actually level to 5, right? That was a thing that officially happened? Like, we
Yes.
were told that
Yeah.
you prepped for that? Okay, thank God. Okay. Oh, all praise the almighty gunplay.
You are level 5. You have gunplay. Oh, believe me, You would not. I would not put the Rachni level before gunplay. You're gonna need that.
A lot of them. Oh crap.
I counted at least 7, and then I stopped counting because I'm coming to check something. So, oh boy.
Which I will say, I think we have someone who has to leave in 10 minutes. So do you guys want to do 10 minutes of combat?
Sure.
I mean, 10 minutes of combat, that's like what? A quarter of a round?
Yeah, we could probably just wait till next week. Everybody can go in knowing that we're doing a combat.
I mean, it's also like, we might as well, right?
Oh, fair enough.
I'm game. If everybody's game, might as well start shooting shit.
Yeah.
All right, Kronk. The door slams open, and you can see Rachni. They're piled up. They come rushing in immediately, but you and Arturo get to do something before they actually get in here. Note that although I have them stacked up in the same square, that's not actually how it is, right? They're piled up in the hallway out there, so they are tightly condensed, but they're on the other side of the door right now, like coming this way.
Okay, well, my best idea would be to lob a grenade.
Sure, you can pretty reliably get 4 of them, you think, if you just threw a grenade through the door. Although, what's the throw range on a grenade?
30
It's
feet.
like 30 feet.
Actually,
You'd have to move closer.
You'd have to move up, yeah.
I mean, that is perfectly fine with me, so I'll move up to here.
Yeah, that'll
And
do it. You can
throw a
definitely
grenade
get
in.
4.
Sweet.
I'm just doing this, spacing them apart so I can do damage correctly.
Yep.
DC?
11. The DC on a grenade is like, what? I
15.
can't remember, Mark. What is it?
15.
15?
Oh, I'm muted. Yeah, it's 15.
Ooh.
They don't have advantage. That's just, for some reason, it's the default on Roll20. Let me fix that. There we go. Done. So 10, 21, 21, 19. That's 11 damage type?
It's force. I think regular grenades are force damage.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
I did not have a good setup on my grenade macro before I started. Sorry. Fixing it all now.
You're okay.
I'm going to throw it again. Just make sure the macro's set up. You can ignore this. Macro's better now. Okay.
All right. Yep, you have dealt damage to them. Most of them took half, but one of them took all of it.
Good place to start. That will be the... Actually, no. You know what? I'm also going to use my bonus action to activate my charge energy to charge weapon, which will give me a slight boost to my to-hit capabilities.
Fair enough. It probably goes without saying they don't have shields, but I figured I'd mention it.
Mhm.
All right, Arturo.
Am I hidden from them with a 22?
You are, and you have a clear sight line to the one in front.
Okay. Yeah, I will take a shot at the one at the very front.
Also, holy crap, I was just going over the party composition in my head, and we have, like, no AoE at all.
Except for the grenades that we can throw? No.
You certainly hit.
Fucked.
I gotta wait till level 6 before I can get Nova.
Alright, that did 17. Wasn't good for damage, but it was
Alrighty.
better than nothing.
So one of them gets shot in the chest by your sniper rifle after running through a grenade explosion, and it is alarmingly healthy looking after that.
And there's 10 of them. Yay!
Oh boy. Can we close the door again and bring them in one at a time?
Honestly.
Hold the line.
Alright, I'm going to stealth to hide again and reload.
Kronk, you didn't move back.
Nope.
You are correct.
That is
Alright.
intentional.
I rolled your scientist friend in, and so potentially she can do stuff like attempting to shut the door. But now that they're coming through, they may not let that happen so easily. So we'll see.
Right.
And it's a
They're
giant ass
pretty
bulkhead
big.
door. It might crush them.
Yeah, we'll see.
If we're lucky.
The youngins don't remember when the Rachni were the galaxy-ending threat, but that was a thing at one point. They're the original end bringers.
The OG
Yeah.
Endgame Crisis.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You've already got a Krogan.
True.
Problem solved.
I was gonna say, are we gonna get an I am Krogan scream?
No, what? Ew.
Wow.
You-
You hate your own culture and you call me racist?
This one skitters around Kronk with its 40-foot move speed. Does provoke.
Yes. Kronk will, in fact,
Beat the shit out of it.
How dare you
Yeah.
ignore me?
Break his leg.
does an 18 hit.
It does hit.
Whew.
Excellent.
If that didn't hit, I was going to be like, close the door, close the door.
For this many.
We don't need the information.
All right.
I hope Biotic isn't inspiration isn't broken. Everybody's rolled a max on it.
I mean, if it is, I'm okay with it.
No, mine is pinged in to do 1d4. I'm
Mine.
actually rolling a d4.
I had to swap them out because I had the wrong one. That's the downside of stacking them.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I kind of need to make sure I can see who's who.
Yeah, I feel your pain. You could stack them like in the room up top. We're not using that.
This will do.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
a friend.
God.
Boy, that's horrifying looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine them all stuck to the walls and shit.
Alrighty. So,
Does anybody have a flamethrower?
Mr. David.
Oh, please bring it on.
Let's see how much damage these guys do.
When that
Oh.
sting comes for David, he'll actually bring his blade up and press it against the tip and activate kinetic barrier, aka shield.
All
and
right.
boost him up.
You deflected stingers. The claws just miss. You weave between the claws and then deflect the stinger away from yourself.
Yep. So let me go ahead and post that real fast before I. There you go. Kinetic shield. There we go.
I am offended by this many Arachni in one place.
Yeah.
This one runs up to David, provoking from Kronk again.
He's already used
I don't
his
have another
reaction.
reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here you go, buddy.
Like they can't see the Krogan, or they know what's going to happen to them.
Let's have something against white guys.
Believe it or not, that one claw makes it through, but all the other ones don't.
Why did you? Oh, you've got shield up still. Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll
shield
let
doesn't
it
end until my
activate
next
the whole
turn.
round.
You take 3 damage,
Woo.
and then you have to give me.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh no, there's no check. You're just grappled.
Oh no!
Oh lord.
Oh, hey, buddy. Getting a little handsy, are we?
Solution
Yep.
is a lot of stabbing.
Yeah, if they hit with a claw, they just grapple automatically.
Excellent. You're within stabbing distance. now.
5e likes to do that. The auto grapple. This one's going to come around to here and attack the Krogan.
Well, shit.
Does the 16 hit you, Kronk?
You know what? Considering how big of a force this is and the sheer number of attacks that might come my way, I don't want that to hit me. So I am going to also cast Kinetic Barrier
Fair enough.
and raise my AC from 17 to 22.
Okay.
Yes! 22, let's go!
All right, they're just slamming into your kinetic barriers. Like you and David both put up your barriers, and the Rachni all just like slam into it like a tsunami.
Thank you, boys.
This one comes out and it climbs up on the side of the wall,
I don't like that at all.
Uh-oh.
and it skitters along the top of the wall to here.
Uh-oh.
So it's just like running along the top edge of the wall, like by the ceiling.
Do something about that.
Okay. So, remind me, because I just want to make sure that I'm not nuts.
Oh, I
Uh,
think we're ending on David because it is 10:40.
Ow.
So
Damn.
we'll end on the scientist. Go ahead,
Yeah,
David.
yeah,
Go ahead,
sounds
David.
good.
We'll end on the
Let
scientist.
him get his round out
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
All right. My question is,
You
grapple
can
does
still
not
attack
make
while
me have
grapple.
disadvantage. Okay, yeah, I don't have disadvantage, right? That's restrained. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, grappled is just you cannot get away from them. Your speed is 0.
Okay, cool. Bonus action. I'm lead tracking the one that's got me grappled, and I'm going in. So let's see. There's one. There's two. And then martial arts strike
Oh!
for
Ooh,
3.
nice.
Nice. Wow.
They all hit.
Bam, bam, bam.
You're not.
Fucking mean it tonight, don't
Let
you?
me do some math.
27,
13, 14, 17.
36,
I'm doing it.
45.
All right, so this is the one that got hit in the face with a grenade and then shot in the chest by Arturo. And after going through a grenade and getting shot with a sniper rifle, you cut it across with your blade. Then you cut it again with its blade. It still doesn't go down, but the critical unarmed strike, you finally managed to like break your fist through its chitinous armor and rip out something important. And it collapses in a heap. But it took well over 50 damage to put it down.
Oh,
These
that
things
was
have
your.
like a billion fucking hit points.
Doc, get this man a ladder.
This party
Thanks
needs
to
more
the-
AoEs.
He'll shake his hand clean of gunk, and he'll just look to the one next to him and just go, "You're next, sweetheart."
Next, sweetheart. All right.
All right. And I guess we'll end the round on she attempts to shut the door.
The attempt.
I
I don't like that word. Attempts.
The two shutter doors begin to close, and a pair of Rachni that are forcing their way through just get in the way, and they sink their claws into the metal of the door and push, and you guys hear like a mechanical snapping sound,
Oh, no.
like something breaking in the wall, and the two doors become slack.
Oh, those
Oh,
aren't closing
no.
again.
No, those ain't never closing again.
All right. Next session of Into the Void. Welcome to ODR 7, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh no, what did we get ourselves into?
I'll end it by looking at Kronk and saying, "That's one."
There you go.
Oh god. All right, time to go. See you guys.
See you guys next week.
See ya.